Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra Kanu Ọhamadike ike abụgo ndị ilo ihe Kanu Ọhamadike mana famaro na anyị nwe mmeli ife ọbụla anyị tinyere aka n'ụwa na-agala anyị ya ka anyị ji bụrụ ụmụ Chukwu okike abịama Nnamdi Kanu kedụzi ife mesilume odogwu na-egbula abụga abatago obodobo nwa onye afara ife agbala nze na boyo n'ikalata ife mena ihe ole n'ụwa dibili ịga-adị ndụ ole n'ụwa fụ Biafra His Majesty onye ọlụmba na ụmụ na-ekwu akụọ m ọfọ na nene ị ga-afụ ife ọma ebe isi na anyị ga-enwere onwe anyị wee bulie n'isi ife ọma ga-abụ nke iyi ngwanụ kenenu Kanu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike abara nzele pupu n'iwi Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike eze ntoto nkonyilu mkpuchi Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike kịtịkpa gbala ni ọghọlụ mbuze Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike ife dị na ihe oluwa Biafra
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
ụmụ Biafra oge zugo Abalanze nọ n'egwu ọgwụ egwu ikolobịa onye gbakana ya lụ ka ọ gbalagba n'ụwa na nkịtị Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra ụkwalụ oge n'ụwa daa ife niile nwere obi oge zugo na anyị gana Biafra bana anyị Biafra bana nsọ Biafra bụ nke anyị anyị Chukwu kwere anyị na mgba aka na-ekwuzi ị na-akpọ m onye Naijiria bụ m onye Naija kwakene m minino of Nigeria mana Biafra bụ obodo m ị na-achụzi mmọnwụ nke ndị ọbụzi ndụ Biafra bụ obodo anyị ebe amụrụ anyị bụ na Biafra ebe anyị ga-anwụ bụ na Biafra nwata chọba nke ọbụla ajọ nwa nwata chọba nke ọbụla ajọ nwa mana mmachọ nke mụ n'elu ụwa nọ onye ọcha ma aba m afa n'elu ụwa nne na nna mụrụ m n'ụwa ga-aba m afa afa m bụ onye ka Chukwu Biafra bụ obodo anyị amarọ m ife bụ Naijiria ikuku ya n'isi guo kedu ife ọ ga-eme n'ibu Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra ife mere anyị ole n'ụwa ka njikọba egwu ọlụ ịlụlụ n'ụwa juru m anya isi kpọta Igbo n'ụlọ juru m anya ekene ka njidi ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu ekene ka njidi ole n'ụwa Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike Biafra onye afọ iwepụ ịrapụrụ oche eze nna gị wee welu ndụ iwe tinye ka anyị nwere onwe anyị ife ọma n'ụwa makọ na be ife dị mma ọmakọ na be Abalanze n'ọmụ nọ n'egwu ngwanụ ka ikele n'odogwu
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
odogwu abụrụ ọka inebụ ma ncha
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
kịtịkpa gbara anyị ọghọlụ mbuze
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
onye afara ibeku
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
ike agwụgo ndị iloyi
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
iloyi na-achọzi pistọl
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
iloyi na-achọzi dialọg
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
ọ sị na ọ bụ reconstruction
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
mana anyị ada n'ụzi oyibo
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
Biafra bụ obodo anyị
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
Biafra bụ ana anyị
Nnamdi Kanu
anyị ga-ana
Ọhamadike
anyị ga-ana n'oge zugo
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
onye nọchi ụzọ ife ọbụla welu
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
ife mena deputy director
Nnamdi Kanu
Alfonsus Uchemọfọ
Ọhamadike
n'okwu gị bụ
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
Emeka gift oyimo
Nnamdi Kanu
isi ike na-emetụ gift
Ọhamadike
eduzi ada Biafra
Nnamdi Kanu
ada n'ịdị ọra mma
Ọhamadike
Mrs. Uchenna Kanu
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
ife bi na His Royal Highness
Nnamdi Kanu Ọhamadike
eze Israel Kanu
Nnamdi Kanu
Oshe
Nnamdi Kanu,
of Ekiti.
Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
Kedu maka Femi Kayode
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
ndị Igbo ka na-alala ụla
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
mana imirikiti etetego n'ụla
Nnamdi Kanu,
anyị ga-ana anyị ga-ana Honorable Chidoka
Nnamdi Kanu,
ike obosi ụkwala
Ọhamadike.
udogwu na-ekene mi
Nnamdi Kanu,
mmadụ ga-eji aga o
Ọhamadike.
egwu agbala nze tidogo
Nnamdi Kanu,
egwu ikolobịa o
Ọhamadike.
ikolobịa nọ n'obodo a
Nnamdi Kanu,
ikolobịa nọkwa n'obodo a
Ọhamadike.
ngwanụ n'oge egwu eluwe
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
Ọhamadike Biafra
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
Ọhamadike Biafra o
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
ike agwụgo ndị iloyi
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
ike agwụgo ndị iloyi o
Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu, Ọhamadike.
What does Biafra mean?
It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice.
In practical terms, these are very good sounding words, but in practical terms, what does Biafra mean?
Confederation,
So, a weak center,
very weak.
very strong regions.
Absolutely.
Have you had a change of mind, therefore, about getting an independent Biafra? Because that's what I seem to be hearing.
No, I've not changed my mind, no. And independent Biafra means going back to the way we were before the white man came.
Okay, so you're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing
Or
else.
death, yes.
Or death.
That's correct.
If push comes to shove,
Yes.
will you go to war?
No, because truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars.
So
Truth.
no war. You've ruled out the
Absolutely, I
of
don't
war.
believe in war. No, no war. When I say Biafra or death, I'll keep pushing. Either I am alive, I die in the process, I won't stop. Allow me to repeat, if you don't mind. Had sovereign national conference been convened by the powers that be, where every ethnic national, I said every, I don't care if there are 600, I don't care. Everyone is
All the
represented.
500 plus.
Everyone together to say this is, or others can delegate, I don't know, powers to other people to attend on their behalf. Sit down to say, what type of country do we want? Sit down, discuss, agree. I can begin to perhaps submit to your
Is it
position.
too late?
It is way too late. They've killed too many people. They've ruined too many lives. They've wasted too many souls. How do we bring those people back?
If the federal government, given the agitation that is going on, becomes convinced that, you know what, these people have a point, it is time to actually address all these issues, and they begin to systematically address some of these issues, would you change your mind?
No, because of the deceptions of the past.
No trust.
No trust. Aburi was there, it was negotiated. Nothing happened. 1968, if I recall. And the confab report, what became of it? How about the 3 R's? Reconciliation, reconstruction, and heaven knows what else. What became of them? Nothing. Calabar Seaport is not working. Can you tell me why it's not working? It's a seaport used by the colonial masters. Why is it not working today? How about Iguacha Seaport? Why is it not being used? Why not worry? Why must we allow only Lagos to function as a viable seaport? In England, where I used to live, you had Liverpool, you had the Sun, which is Portsmouth, Southampton, everywhere. You had harbors and ports. So why must you have only one?
I've heard people say these are very valid arguments, and that these are things that are to do with bad governance. So the average Biafran, to use your phrase, or Igbo man in the Igbo, is facing poverty much in the same way that the average guy in Yobe State is facing poverty. And so these are issues of governance. You don't agree with that?
I agree completely.
Okay. So if that is it, why isn't the agitation about tackling the problem, which is ensuring good governance, perhaps starting from locally? Because part of the allegations against you is that you don't confront your political leaders in the East, and you'd like to blame Abuja for everything.
Because the way I would want to solve a problem is not how a Fulani man would want to solve it.
You really believe this is an ethnic thing, and the
ethnic.
approach is different?
No, the approach is different. No, it's not ethnic. It is more to do with value system.
Right.
The way you may want to solve a problem could be markedly different from how I do mine.
What is the geographical makeup of Biafra, as far as you are concerned? This Biafra that you want. So, for example, if we're doing a referendum, where will that referendum take place? Is it only the 5?
It's on, no.
It's okay.
It's on, which is River State, Bayelsa, Delta, Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Cross River,
Akwa Ibom?
and Akwa Ibom, of course. Akwa Ibom, yes.
Right.
Those are the coasters. Basically,
Bayelsa?
yes. Southeast and South-South without Edo State.
Without Edo State.
That's correct. And then including Igede, Idoma.
Right, the Benues. So
That's
the
correct.
Igalas and part of the
Absolutely.
Kogi,
Yes,
Kogi
yes,
State, right?
yeah.
Nyosom Wike, the governor of Anambra, sorry, the governor of River State, made a statement, I think it was yesterday or day before
Yes,
yesterday,
yes, I heard about it.
and said, you know, you should not be including River State
It's for the
and
people of River State to decide,
people.
not him. I can't decide for Biafrans. They have to go and vote and convince the whole world that they want Biafra. It's not for instance, it's only one man, one vote.
What if they're not even willing to take part in the referendum? Because I've had people from the South, for example, from Bayelsa. I've had people from Cross River. I think there's a famous actress, Kate Henshaw, for example, wrote a long piece about why people of the South don't want to be dragged into a place called Biafra. You're saying, regardless of what they say, you want a referendum in those parts?
Because I know the majority of the people want a referendum. I was in Iguacha yesterday.
How do you know?
I was there yesterday. I was in Iguacha yesterday. You call Port Harcourt. I was there yesterday. I should have been there to see what happened.
Now,
They were delighted to see me. I'm sure you know that. It's all over the place. They're very happy to see me. I bet Kate Henshaw wouldn't get such reception. Where she to go to?
she's a big, popular Nollywood actress. I wouldn't necessarily.
I'm telling you, if I go to her village, people will turn out to see me more than turn out to see her.
Not only committed, we are prepared to say, I say, created by God himself in heaven to ensure that Biafra comes in our time. This very glorious family shall exist forever and ever, I assure you. It is an honor, it is a unique privilege. I find myself sometimes exceptionally blessed to be leading these very wonderful people, this very great nation. The answer to the deprivation that Africa has become, Biafra, is the only solution, the only way out of the maze of darkness, iniquity, and evil that have bedeviled Africa. for centuries. Therefore, we make no apologies. We have come that the blind may see. We have come that those who are deaf may hear. We have come that those who are living may continue to live and not fall under the machete, the bullets, and the knives of the terrorists that inhabit the Arewa Janjaweed territory of the Zoological Republic. Here we preach the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. There is nothing our enemies can do. They can threaten, they can huff, they can puff, but they can never blow the house down, I assure you. They know, they understand how relentless and remorseless we are in the pursuit of this very noble quest. Our enemies will attest to the very fact that this very IPOB, they have never seen a type like it before. Therefore, I commend this very noble family. I commend every coordinator. I commend every principal officer. I commend every leader. I commend everybody who wakes up in the morning to offer a prayer to God in heaven for the preservation of IPOB and for the restoration of Biafra. For only them can see the light. For only them can inherit the kingdom of God that is to come, which can only be found in Biafra. Therefore, I say to all of you who are listening this evening, that indeed you are very lucky. You are living in exciting times, a time of great change, a time of great hope, a time, of course, of great trepidation. But in the end, we shall prevail because we are IPOB, because we are the children of light, because we are Biafrans. Ultimately, we win. Not minding whatever unpalatable circumstance we may find ourselves in, the priority remains the restoration of Biafra. It doesn't matter what the enemies are doing. It doesn't matter what their plans are. One thing is inescapable. At the end of this very journey, Biafra shall emerge to stand alone as the hope and the light and the beacon that Africa will look up to for generations to come. I welcome each and every one of you once again. Make sure you have your pen and your paper ready, because this is the greatest and the very finest university on the face of this very earth. If you're not listening to Radio Biafra, you will be enveloped in ignorance if you're not part of this very noble family. The Janjaweed from the Sahel will continue to wreak havoc not only upon your lives but also upon your destiny. Therefore, we must pray. We must call upon the Most High, because right now, in front of His throne in heaven is, of course, my father and my mother, because they believe very strongly that only the divine grace of the Most High shall restore Biafra. And that is why Biafra will come, because they have sacrificed their lives to ensure that those of us who are living shall be free. We must pray. We must pray. Wherever you are, you will lower your heads, because we dedicate everything that we are, everything that we have become, everything that we are likely to become unto the capable hands of the Creator of the heavens and the earth. Father, today, as we begin our prayer in praise and worship of your holy name, for you say we are fearfully and wonderful made, according to the psalmist, according to the book of Psalms 139, chapter 14. We know this world is very hard. We know that existence in Nigeria is even harder. It's threatening to crush us every blessed day in far too many ways. Not just we Biafrans, but every ethnic composition unfortunate enough to be lumped together by Lugard in the damnable contraption that they call Nigeria. Physically, we cannot always outrun the ailments of our bodies. Sickness and injury take hold upon us. We are not always healed to the original state of our health. Mentally, we are bombarded and pulled by unfiltered thoughts threatening to run away with all that we represent on a daily basis. Spiritually, you promised us a battle in this life. The Janjaweed from the north, the Alamajiri, the sponsors of Boko Haram, the terrorists who go into political office to wreak havoc and mayhem upon the lives of the defenseless. They are threatening our very existence, and you have decreed that Biafra will come, that your children may be saved from the iniquitous existence in the colonial British contraption designed to enslave, to cage, to ridicule, and to destroy your children. You must bring our hearts to focus. We plead the Elohim, your truth at the start of each very day. We expect a battle. We will get a battle, but also your deliverance is near, because that is your promise. You are God. You never fail. The same way you were yesterday, you are today, and shall remain forevermore. Father in heaven, in overwhelming moments like this, when we are being overrun by Fulani headsmen, when we are having puppets being installed in Imo State to serve the whims and the caprices of the Fulani Caliphate, moments like this, we seek your truth as we are reminded that you are our hiding place. You will protect us from troubles. You will surround us with songs of deliverance, according to the psalmist in the book of Psalms, chapter 32, verse 7. You will remind us of the greatness of our faith that have gone before us in bravery, with courageous faith in your protective hand of deliverance. We pray this very evening. David defeated Goliath against all odds, and even after being knocked the run for his life from King Saul, he cried out unto you in faith, and you delivered him. Even after he made terrible mistakes, but you delivered David, loving him until the end. We remember those that have died and have fallen in this very effort. We remember those that have gone before us to shed their blood for our freedom. Oh, Heavenly Father, we commit them unto thy hands. Our faith shall sustain us. Our resoluteness, O Elohim, shall grant us victory in the end, because you will lead this very army. This very army, you will stand in front of them as we go into battle to confront the forces of darkness that have brought misery, death, and pain upon your children. Come and give us your grace. Come and give us your mercy, that Biafra may come in our time, that your will in heaven may be done upon the face of this earth, that every generation that will come after this will testify that there is God in heaven, that Chukwokika presided over all the affairs of men, and that Biafra came because you decreed it, that Biafra came because that was your wish upon the lives of those that call upon your name in truth and in honesty, as this very noble IPOB family has done and will continue to do until the end of time. In the grace, in the exaltation and adulation of your holy name, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, we must preach this very gospel, the gospel of deliverance, the gospel of restoration, because without Biafra we are nothing. Today we expose the underbelly of the corrupt contraption. Today we continue to exercise a greater knowledge over the ignorance that pervades the entire damnable zoological republic. Today we shall lift the veil of corruption. Today we shall remove iniquity from the lives of those who have been condemned to live in mediocrity. We must preach this very gospel because a lot is happening in the zoo. It is our duty and our responsibility to bring this to the knowledge of the entirety of humanity, that heaven and earth may bear us witness that at this time, in this age, in this 2020, that this very gospel of truth was preached, that out of the ignorance of the many, the Janjaweed came down with their terrorist groups. They came down with Boko Haram. They came and visited us with their Fulani headsmen. ISIS in West Africa is slaughtering at will. Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb is there destroying lives. They branded them bandits and kidnappers in the north, but the lives of people are ending in disgrace on the highways of the north. Every blessed day there is kidnapping everywhere. Terror all around us. And what have we done as a people? What have we done as the children of the Most High? We have done absolutely nothing. We complain and we do nothing. The same template that other people are today emulating was first encapsulated by Ipob. We formed BSS to protect the lives of our mothers and our children and of those who are innocent. I was in the United States of America. I was in California, in Los Angeles to be precise. I asked for guns and I asked for bullets because I knew what was coming. I knew that death will come. I knew that the heavens have turned blood. I knew that darkness will envelop the land. I preached that very gospel and I told them. They did not listen. And today what is happening? The same thing they abandoned and said it will not work is what other people are copying, and our people have been left defenseless. The land of Biafra is the only place where there is no defense, if not for the bravery of the volunteer command of Ipob, who are on a daily basis sacrificing their lives to maintain and to ensure that our land is not overrun by the Janjaweed, by the Fulani illiterates from the north. Many horrible things are happening in the zoo. Very horrible things are happening on a daily basis. Your lives have become meaningless. Priests are being beheaded. Mothers are being kidnapped, raped. Pregnant women are having their children cut out of their stomach. Horrible and terrible things are happening. And nobody is doing anything about it. Nobody is saying anything about it because they are all frightened. They are all compromised. They are all corrupt. They are fearful of their tomorrow. But here we are not afraid to preach this very truth. Here we know that the truth must prevail. Whoever created Nigeria, that monster, that evil that created that den of death, must be put to shame. They must be shackled and they will be put to shame, and Biafra shall emerge, and so with it the freedom for all oppressed ethnic groups in that damnable zoological republic. They have abandoned their pattern dance 1, pattern dance 2, pattern dance 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and who knows what else. What is now happening in the zoo is an indictment of the very essence of being a Nigerian. If you claim you are a Nigerian, your stupidity and your idiocy is staring you in the face. What the Fulani Janjaweed have done to your lives is a demonstration that it is your natural right, obligation and duty to rise up to oppose iniquity as represented in the government of the Fulani Caliphate you have in Asarok. This evening we shall lay them bare. This evening we shall expose them. This evening the world will know that the zoo has it is gone and gone for good. I said that the zoo will fall, and it has fallen. When I call it a zoo, don't get upset. Look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, which human being with common sense will inhabit a country that is as spectacular a failure as Nigeria has become? Look at yourself in the mirror and tell me if you will belong to a country or wish your children to belong to a country where all the horrible and terrible things happening in Nigeria today obtains. Ask yourself that very simple question. You know now why we call that place a zoo. You will begin to understand it. In fact, I concede to my dear sister, who is an Hollywood actress, I've forgotten her name, who said, that a zoo is a better place than Nigeria. It is about time that people become self-critical. When you become self-critical, believe me, you advance. That is why Western Europe colonized the whole world. That is why they are advancing in every sphere of human endeavor, because they believe in self-criticism. When they are doing wrong, they criticize themselves, they get better. I do not understand why people who call themselves human beings, not just in Nigeria, but all across Africa, all we do is to wallow in self-pity. Nobody rises up in the morning to ask, why is it that we have abundance of coal, of natural gas, of wall-to-wall sunlight, almost 24 hours every blessed day? Why do we have rivers? Why do we have other means through which power can be generated? You have no electricity. That is an indictment of you as a human being. It means that your university education, your PhDs and all your degrees are entirely meaningless, because the things that your brain is supposed to utilize all the resources around it to produce, you're not doing it. Are Europeans with 2 or 3 heads? I'm asking you. Those who are advancing in Far East Asia, do they have 2 brains in their skull? They are human beings like we Africans are. But ask yourself this question: why is Africa not moving forward? Africa is not moving forward because of the level of mentality you find in a place called Nigeria today. This very evening, I want our people to try to be as reasonable as possible. Try to dissect and digest what you are being presented this evening, because our job, our duty, our responsibility is to open your mind, to allow you to reason properly, to open your eyes that you can see very clearly, because black Africans cannot reason very well. We don't see very well, we don't hear very well. This evening, I hope to be, as we embark upon this very journey of enlightenment, we will begin to repent, to offer ourselves for deliverance, because if you do not offer yourself for deliverance, you can never be delivered. It's impossible. As Nigeria is crumbling on a daily basis, or should I say suffering under the weight of self-induced lawlessness. Lawlessness brought about by a government who do not obey the law. Lawlessness brought about by a group of people who did not even study law, nor understand what jurisprudence is all about. These are people who are archaic. These are people with a feudal mindset. These are people who can never, not in this world, not in the next, will they ever attain the height of greatness. Impossible. They are the ones in charge of your lives. That is why a Supreme Court can sit down, and when INEC is telling them that 850-something thousand people voted, a Supreme Court will sit down and tell you that the votes cast is over 900,000. And people are walking about and moving about, pretending everything is normal. That is what I find incredulous, absolutely debilitating in terms of those who still retain some semblance of reasoning capacity. I do not understand it. If people just move along as if everything is okay. And I keep asking myself, why are black Africans like this? Why are the so-called Nigerians like this? Why can't you reason for once in your life and ask God in heaven to give you common sense? Nigeria was only created in 1914. Ask yourself, what was your identity before 1914? Who were you before 1914? Who is your grandfather? Who is your grandmother? Who is your great-grandfather? Does it mean that your life never had any meaning? The existence of your culture no relevance until a white man descended from their boat in Badagry in Lagos and named you Nigeria. Can you begin to reason like human beings for once? I pray and I beg of you. When you see us so poor, our roads are not being built, no hospitals, no good schools, people are lamenting. There is no need lamenting. Ask yourself, what have I done to encourage this reign of iniquity and impunity in the land? It is your silence, because I believe that some of us are actually born into evil. That is why some of you gravitate towards what is bad, what can never be remedied. I understand today they said some local chiefs in Imo State, I don't know who paid them. Of course, somebody said they are faceless. Can a human being created by God in heaven, given common sense, went to primary school, to secondary school, to maybe a college somewhere to do their A-levels, and they went to university, you have a degree. And you're telling me that Hope Uzodinma should be in office. I cannot for the life of me understand it for 1 second. I cannot begin to understand it, because it not only defies common sense, it is illogical. It is immoral before man and before God in heaven. What it means is that the Fulani Caliphate are in control of all our lives. If a governor misbehaves, they take him out and they put the puppet in. I'm saying this because of all those psychophants, all those idiots who are gravitating around Hope Uzodinma. I'm saying it, it is not about Imo State. It is not even about Igbo land. It is not even about Biafra as a whole. It's not even about Nigeria. It is about humanity and doing what is right before God in heaven and man on this very earth. We shall come back to that later. Some of you don't know that your people are dying. I'm making this address this evening to World Igbo Congress in the USA. They are the primary audience this evening. Of course, we know the whole world is listening, including some professors in universities across Argentina. We know they love Radio Biafra. We know that very much. I am asking you to go back to the broadcast I made sometime in 2015. When I was in the US, I was asking you for guns and for bullets. Some of you said, oh no, Kanu wants to start a war again. I said, no, I have seen what is to come. What you have in Nigeria are not prophets. Everything I tell you is gospel. Don't tell me, ask me how it's possible. It is simple divine revelation. If you go through the things that I have told you in the past, all of them, some of the events of today have surpassed my own predictions. I went to World Igbo Congress. They are called World Igbo. I said to them, give me guns and give me bullets, because these murderers are coming. They are coming to kill us. They will kill us. These people, they are coming to take over our land. Let me even try and see if I can find, I think I asked the deputy today to try and circulate this very broadcast. The one that I made before. Very, very important. I don't know if people are listening via our app. I don't know if they are listening via our app, because I'm getting reports here that some people are losing connection. I don't know how to. That is, of course, we know we have so many enemies. They are trying. They are fighting very hard, but they are losing. It's just like Trump. Forget all the nonsense, all the media hype, all the rubbish. At the end of the day, the people are with him the same way with this IPOB, the same way with this very position that I occupy. Forget all the nonsense you're hearing. Oh, this person said this from a job. We are not Biafra, we are rubbish. Go to the ground and ask the people. That will tell you that their heart, their mind, their soul, and their body is with this very IPOB. They recognize the importance, the relevance, and the great work that IPOB is doing. I went to America and I said to our people in the USA, give me guns and give me bullets. The zoo, being very clever, of course, advised by the British, said, oh, charge him with treasonable felony. He wants to cause a war. I said, no. Today, don't you have Amotekun in Yoruba land? They will carry guns. Today, you have something called, is it Damboro Bashege in the north? I don't know what they call it. They said they found it 2 days ago. Is it not something I was saying to World Igbo Congress? Today, as I'm speaking to you, our houses are being destroyed in Ebonyi. Our defense in Ebonyi cannot stretch for the number of miles that the Nigerian army and their backup, the Fulani bandits and the terrorists are attacking on a daily basis. Some of you don't know this. When you say it, in fact, China said give it to Amaka. I want it distributed now to let our people know what is happening in Ebonyi. They don't understand what is happening in Ebonyi. And sometimes I feel sorry for the governors. I never thought I'd hear myself say this. I feel sorry for them. You have seen what happened to Hedioha. For hosting one Ahijoko lecture, he was one Ahijoko lecture. And somebody, I don't know if it was Obio Koda or was it a moderator who was interviewing him, asked him, said, why is it that any time people gather from the east, the north will get very jittery? Just one Ahijoko lecture. And one birthday party for Mbazurika Meji. That is all. For our dear father, of course, he's our father. Only one birthday party. And they said Hedioha must go. He's trying to bring the Igbo people together. He must go. And some people in Imo State will have the temerity to open their mouths to talk rubbish and say that whole person must be in Douglas house. But we are coming for all of you one after the other. Mad, insane people. It's nothing to do with, I don't know who Emeka Hedioha is. I don't want to know. I don't give a damn who they are. In fact, they're all the same thing. They're all Abuja brought up. They're all the same. But what is right is right. This IPOB stands on the side of justice all the time. I said justice all, regardless of who is involved. When I was in detention, some of you may have forgotten, I fought for the release of so-called Boko Haram suspects because I knew those young boys from Niger State were innocent. I fought for them. Some of you may have seen the clips. When I used to go to Federal High Court in Abuja, I used to stand in. I called the journalists and I called the parents of these boys suffering at the hands of the DSS. Inhumane conditions are being kept. I asked them to speak up, and some of them were released as a result of that. We fight injustice regardless of who is affected. Regardless. And what is happening in Imo is a travesty. It's a shame on Imo, not just on Imo people, on the entire Igbo race. It's a shame on the entire nation of Biafra. On all of us. On everybody. It is a shame because, as I've warned you before, if it goes in through one ear, it comes out of the other one. Somebody, they're scamming us. So look at these Biafrans. What are they doing? They're scamming us. But today they're slaughtering you. And everything I said, has it not come to pass? Have they not abandoned the north to be circulating in my village? Yet some of you cannot reason. A war is going on in the north. Terrorists are taking over local governments in the north. And the so-called army designed, equipped to fight them, they are in Isama Furuku in Omaha, perambulating. And some of you think it's normal. That shows the extent of depravity in your brain. That shows you in a very bad light. That shows you why you were colonized by the Europeans. That shows you why Africa is the bottom of the pile in the whole world in terms of human development and progress. Because there is a part of your brain that is pure darkness and evil. Anywhere you see evil, you go there. Like Loretta and Onochi, whatever that's what woman's name is. Anywhere you gravitate towards. In fact, I'm happy to say that the European media used to do that before. Anywhere they see evil from Fulani, they go and they support. Now they have repented. Now they have changed. Because it has affected them. I'm sure it has affected these families as well. It is not big news because Biafrans don't control the media space in Nigeria, so it's not big news. But on Radio Biafra, we preach it that the world may hear, that mankind may bear us witness, that the day it starts, nobody will come and say, oh, they are seceding. They want us, Of course, we are now everywhere. Nobody can lie against us anymore. Forget all the fake pages of blogging sites they have developed to publish junk and debunk their own junk they have published. Nobody can pocket IPOB. It is impossible. We are unstoppable. This train is unstoppable. If you stand in the way, you'll be crushed. Ask the zoo what they are going through. They will tell you. They will tell you. This is for Otundi Bonine, what they are called. I'll come to the rest of the Biafrans later on. But these are the main culprits. This is what I'm addressing this to them. I want to tell you what is happening in the zoo called Nigeria to our people, to Biafrans, all over the place. But it is not big news. Why is it that Fulani terrorists hijacking GEO? Some of you know who GEO is. They operate what is called a luxurious bus. Is a coach from the north to the east, from the north to the west. There is also Ezenwata. They did not just abduct GUO motors, they abducted a luxurious bus carrying Biafrans that boarded Ezenwata, a luxurious bus. They also took Young Shall Grow. But none of you know, some of you don't know this. Some of us are we on Facebook gossiping and yapping, talking rubbish. On Instagram, writing junk. Whereas what the Fulanis are teaching us is a new version of this is not just coronavirus, it's just something very similar but even more deadly. There are now all the luxurious buses coming from the north, they take them. These are the ones that people managed to escape. 1 or 2 persons to raise alarm. And the police are speaking about it. Not running after the terrorists, not running after the bandits and the kidnappers. No. They're in Eastern Africa in my village. And you're telling me that such a country deserves to exist. You're telling me that a country that is, that quite literally abandoned their commitment, their obligation, their constitutional duty to fight armed insurgency, left it and is perambulating in a village organizing a burial for their traditional ruler. Can you believe that? Can anybody in their right senses, can any human being that has brain in their skull comprehend such absurdity? They cannot. But I want to tell you why some of you condone it. I want to tell Nigerians why they condone evil. You condone evil because inside you, you are naturally bad. You are evil yourself. As I said earlier, I'm very glad that Yoruba newspapers, they have now repented. They have now seen the light. They have now seen the truth. What we are preaching is the truth. Nobody hates. I do not hate anybody. Before God in heaven and man, I don't hate anybody. But when you bring your reign of terror, when you bring your nepotism, when you bring your wayo to try to deceive people, we tell you no, it cannot happen. Not in this very generation of IPOB, it cannot happen. Have you seen how they quickly rushed and opened Iguacha Seaport? Calabar Wari? Have you seen it? Do you know why they have opened it? It's because of the work being done on this very platform, by this very radio station, by this very glorious worldwide family of IPOB, by what we have done. And of course, in part, to punish the Yoruba for forming Amoteku. World Igbo Congress in America, when Nnamdi Kanu was asking for guns and bullets, I want to tell you the result of your failure. I want to tell you the result of your failure, collective failure, individualism gone crazy. All of you think only about your family. What? Oh, my son is now in Yale. This one is in Stanford University. You forget the reason why you traveled abroad in the first place is to help those who are at home, not just your immediate family. The reason why God gave you the grace to travel abroad to see the light is to come and save those who are at home. It is also in the scriptures. Some of you don't, it is in the scriptures. Those that came back to, it was Joseph who was sold that came back to rescue the family from famine, took them to Egypt. When you're sent abroad for a purpose. You have a purpose. That purpose is not to train your 1 or 2 or 3 children to become relevant or to become mighty society where they are. No, it's to help those who are at home, to bring that knowledge, that know-how and that expertise to alleviate the suffering heaped upon those who cannot help themselves. That is your job. I went to America, I went to Los Angeles, and I addressed them. I told them, this is what is to come. They said no. Today, GU or luxurious bus, how many people are in luxurious bus all the time? At any one time? Ezenwata, Young Shall Grow. These are the ones we know. It is happening in Nigeria, and some people, some Biafrans, they are opening their mouth to say, oh, we need to maintain unity. We need to. In that unity, you are dying. In that unity, luxurious buses are being abducted. People are being killed on a daily basis. Priests are being murdered. Our own children are being buried in Kaduna. The latest priest that they beheaded they killed, the seminarian, has been buried in Kaduna, which is an abomination against our culture and our way of life. After seeing what is going on in that, I don't use Donald Trump's words, because it's a family radio station. After observing what is, somebody that has or claim to have common sense will rise up and tell you that they believe in one Nigeria. Let's work for unity. I am telling you that you are the personification of evil. If you can stay in a country where people who are traveling, innocent people, on a bus, the bus was hijacked. Did they hijack any Dangote trailer? Did they hijack any of their transporters in the north? No, it is the ones belonging to Biafrans that they hijacked. You're right. This your Biafra is a scam. This is your thing. Idiots talking rubbish. People who they say, oh, the Kanu is very vulgar. Well, I tell you the truth. There's something that accused Trump of. The ordinary people understand what we are preaching, that we are preaching the truth. Ordinary people understand it. J.U. Omoto says, and what a young shall grow, they're all gone. It's not from me, it's from their Zoo newspaper. The Nigerian police on Monday said, G.U.S. and what a young shall grow, we are taking on Lokoja Road. People missing. Mothers being killed left, right, and center. Ebonyi under siege. And what are you people doing about it? Absolutely nothing. You will come and you will tell me that somehow it is good. Let's remember, for those belonging or campaigning, or should I say arguing for Nigeria to be sustained in its present form, go and say that to the 4 seminarians abducted from Kaduna. I was talking about Nnadi Michael. He was found dead. He's a follower of Christ in an area where they said it is haram to do so, and he's been killed because those around him believe in one Nigeria. If not for one Nigeria, would he be in the north doing seminary work? He's been killed. What will Kanu do? Nothing. If you provoke us, so we'll do something. We've been hearing it for nearly 18 years, and nothing has happened. When we preach on this platform the simple truth, you see some people say they want to open 10,000 churches. You see how mad some people are. They call themselves preachers in the zoo. They go and they mount the pulpit and they talk rubbish. They collect tithe every Sunday. That is why in fact, when I pray, I will pray to God to tell my mother and my father what he put in the brain of black people, to be honest with you. People are dying in the zoo every blessed day, kidnapped, anarchy everywhere. As I told them, if some of you can recall my interview with Sahara reporters, I said, if you do not give us, write it down. If you do not give us Biafra, Somalia will be a paradise compared to Nigeria. I said it. Have you not seen it? Today, Nigeria is a worse place to live than Somalia. Go and check the terror index. As I told you, it will happen. When we say this, because some of you, you knew when we were going to school, when we grew up, you don't, I didn't open a Pentecostal church, so you won't fully understand, but I appreciate what we're doing, what we're saying. But everything we say comes to, I said it. Biafra is the key. If they don't let Biafra go, believe you me, Chukwuka will destroy Nigeria beyond recognition. That what will happen in Nigeria, people will be wondering, how is that possible? Write it down on this day, February 8, 2020. And that is what I said. February 8, 2020. If they don't give us, sit down and watch what is going to happen to Nigeria. You think what is happening now is lawlessness? The real one is coming. The real lawlessness is coming because God. People say, oh, God told me. God, yes, I'm telling you. Because everything I said comes to pass. I told them when I went to America, when I was at World Igbo Congress, I was telling the whole world that they are coming. Did you believe me? When I told you that they were coming, did you believe me? Have they not come? When I told you that Nigeria will be worse than Somalia, did you believe me? Go and check the terror index. It is there. In black and in white. Nigeria is a more dangerous place to live in that. We've already started though. Some of you don't know what is in store for you. When it happens, I will tell you, I told you so on February 8, 2020. If you support one Nigeria, believe you me, Nigeria will consume you. You will be eaten alive. You will be alive and breathing, and your flesh will be torn off your body. One of the 4 abducted Kaduna seminarians, his name is Nnadi Michael. He was found dead. One Nigeria. Let's move forward in diversity. He was diversifying in Kaduna, and they killed him there. Now, let me ask people one question. And also for Yoruba journalists who write junk, of course, we are now friends. Of course, Yorubas are my brothers now, so I won't say anything against them. But I'm still saying, there are still some from Kwara State. With due apology. There are some remnants, some die-hard Fulani apologists from Kwara. They're in Lagos, somewhere. Still writing junk against Biafra and trying to promote their one Nigeria. And I have this question for them. Nnadi Michael is an Igbo man. I'll call him a man, of course. He is trained to become a priest. He was killed in Kaduna. And some of you don't know it is actually an abomination to bury one of us outside our ancestral home. Some of you don't know that I refer you also back to the scriptures, to the, I call it the Torah. Forget about all this thing. But for the purpose of should I say, brother understand, let me say the Bible. Even when Jacob died in Egypt, they took him back to the same land of his father, of Abraham. The same land of his father, Isaac. Have you not noticed? They don't bury us abroad. My mother died in Germany. She was flown back to be buried in the land of her ancestors. Do you understand that? That is who we are. But this Nnadi Michael has been buried in Kaduna. We are praying for God to forgive us of the crimes we have committed. We're even committing more abomination on top of it. He's been buried in a seminary ground in Kaduna. Who killed him? Let me ask this question to Yoruba people. Yoruba, not all of you, those who have not yet repented, still the very bad ones amongst you. Let me ask you this question. Do you think that if Biafrans took up arms and formed a terror group, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4, what would you do? Every Biafran would have been killed, everybody slaughtered. I remember DW, Deutsche Welle, coming to interview me, saying, are you not putting the lives of Biafrans at risk in the north by this your agitation? Mere agitation for Biafra. They gave us quit notice in the north. If we hijack 2 or 3 buses containing Fulani people and slaughter them, throw their bodies in the River Niger, what do you think will happen to us in the north? I'm asking Yoruba journalists this very question. What do you think will happen to Biafrans in the north? If it were Biafrans that formed Boko Haram, Fulani headsmen, ISIS in West Africa, Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, tell me what would have become of us today. There will be no single Biafran existing. They will kill everybody. But Fulani are the principal funders of 4 major terror groups in the world. On top of that, they're telling you who's going to be president and who's going to be vice. Now, I want you, as I keep saying, go and look at yourself in the mirror. As you're looking at yourself, you should be asking God, why did you create me so stupid? And by so doing, put me in Nigeria. Go to the mirror and believe you me, you will change. By tomorrow, you become a better person. Go to the mirror, look at yourself. And ask yourself, God, why did you make me so stupid that I am part of one Nigeria? I ask you again, Listen carefully to my question. All of you clamoring for one Nigeria, talking rubbish against IPOB, which I love anyway. I love criticism, believe me, I love it. It spurs me on every blessed day, I love it. Ask yourself, if it were the Igbos or the Jaws kidnapping Yoruba people, kidnapping Fulani, kidnapping Hausa, kidnapping Bagi, and killing them at will, raping their mothers, cutting off their head, saying, what do you think everybody else would do? Simple question. You can't answer. One little coup in 1966, organized by the officer class from every tribe, every ethnic group in the zoo, they conducted a coup. After that coup, should I say failed, they used it as a pretext to slaughter 300,000 Biafrans in the north. 300,000 were killed in the north. A coup that involved the death of a few people. But look at Boko Haram. When they started, their signature attack was St. Michael's Church. What's it again? Is it Mobi? St. Michael's Catholic Church. They know that Biafrans go there to worship. They attacked it. Here was their signature outing. I think it was Christmas Day bombing. Was it 2000 and I've forgotten the year. I think Deputy will remind me in a second. Remember it? People died. We brought them back to Anambra. We were crying and saying, oh, this family has been wiped out. Oh, can you say there are no more? After that, we foolishly packed our bags and went back to the north. Today, what they are now doing is, it says you will not hear. They wait for you on a bus. As you're coming back, they offload you and they kill you. All you do is you go to Channels TV, you go to AIT, you go to one of those idiotic talk shows you have in the zoo that makes no sense. And you'll be there talking rubbish. We need to move this country forward. We need to look at insecurity in the country. All of you are frightened to say that it is the Fulani who are doing the killings. You are frightened to say the truth. You are frightened to say that the Fulanis are savages. These are savages from the darkest recesses of hell. You cannot say it because you're all cowards. Those of us in IPOB risking our lives, doing everything we can to enlighten the whole world about what is happening. You are there saying, this thing that they are doing. That shows your level of stupidity and idiocy. I have heard some of them speaking or talking at a gathering somewhere in Lagos regarding what is happening in Imo State. Governor of Imo State. And people just, some calling me excellency. And I said to myself, no, this is not the Igbo race. This wasn't the Igbo race that we read about, that Professor Donatus Ibonwaga taught me about. This is not there. This are chaff. This is not any. You know what you have this is not Igbo race. No, God forbid. The original Igbo race never tolerates evil. Never. I said never. They never tolerated evil, regardless of who you are. They never ever tolerated evil. Some people are calling Hope Uzodinma excellency. And you're telling me that these are Biafrans, they have the blood of our ancestors in their veins? Is that what you're telling me? Of course not. Such nonsense must stop. They have killed the seminarian, he's dead. His name is Nadi Michael. Dead, they abducted them and they slaughtered them. And tomorrow you talk about one Nigeria. Let's move our country forward. I say, may shame be your portion now and forevermore. Shame befall you and befall your family and your household. You are evil. Anybody preaching one Nigeria is evil. It's working for Lucifer. You are evil. You are Satan incarnate. Shall never be well with you. May what Nadi Michael went through, may your children suffer it. May your grandchildren suffer it. May they be beheaded at the hands of Fulani, wild beasts and terrorists in the north. Listen carefully. I preached before for World Igbo Congress in America. This very next item we are going to look at is for the zoo. Those that call themselves Nigerians. Those who sat there, they are there. Their house is burning. They are killing their military in Borno, seizing their vehicles, overrunning villages. The same army, the same Nigerian army with their one-star general is in my village patrolling the venue of a funeral service, burial ceremony. Now I want people to begin to appreciate the depth of evil in the zoo. You're telling me that ISIS in West Africa, they call them ISWAP, they killed 3 soldiers, 3. They seized 2 military vehicles in Borno. This is according to their paper in the zoo, Punch. Nothing is happening in the north. The soldiers who are meant to be fighting insurgency is in my village, in my compound, patrolling, circulating every day. And you're telling me that such a place is a nation, is a country, that they deserve to have a flag flying. A country of supposedly 200 million people. Are you telling me that 200 million people can be so daft and useless at the same time? Is that what you're telling me? That 200 million people can be so stupid that terrorists are killing your soldiers. Those soldiers are in a peaceful, quiet village in Biafra land, perambulating. And when I say there's something wrong with the brain of a black man, people don't understand it. There are vehicles we have seized in Borno. The fighters from the Islamic State of West Africa province, they stormed into the town of Askira late on Friday. That was last week. They went in a dozen pickup trucks, guns blazing everywhere. Nobody is holding them responsible. Nobody is blaming the Fulani for what is happening. They closed your borders in the south. That is how stupid the south is. So useless, and so pathetic and so useless. They come, they shut your borders in the south. They open their borders in the north. Nobody knows who is a Nigerian citizen anymore or not. Terrorists are coming in their droves, abducting and killing you. And you come out the next day, let's work on the security of the nation. Let's try and bring the nation together. I don't think you're a human being. All of you that think that way. All of you. None of you are, honestly. The military is in the north, killing people. No, the terrorists are killing them in the north. They themselves are busy killing people who are unarmed in the east. I cannot rationalize it. I cannot understand it. There is war front, there is war raging. Their mothers and their wives are in IDP camps where the soldiers are raping them. Is there in the news? You know this very well. Instead of those from the north to recall their army in Biafra and say to them, what are you doing there? The battle is here in the north. They left them. Oh, he said, no, the Kanu. He wants to stop us from taking oil money and gas money from Biafra land. And you're looking at Nnamdi Kanu, looking at IPOB. The more of you end up in IDP camps, the more your local governments are taken. But if you recall all those soldiers they put along all those checking points, all those idiotic places that they occupy, maybe you stand the chance of defeating insurgency. You don't know that God is miraculous. You don't know that we serve is miraculous. And so you're busy in Biafra and roaming around aimlessly like the idiots that you are. Your land is being ravaged by terrorists, being taken. If you don't know, that is how daft they are in the zoo. A bunch of hopeless people. When I call them a zoo, they say, oh, he's insulting us. He's insulting. I'm not insulting you. I am telling you the truth. Tell me a country where their soldiers are being killed, helicopters being shot down, villages being sacked, ravaged. You allow somebody will sit in their office in Abuja at the military command and say, today we are deploying soldiers now to Nnamdi Kanu's compound in Isiama Farugu. What is the reason? Is there any war going on there? No. They are about to bury their parents. Let's go there and fight a war. God in heaven. And you claim you have brain in your skull? You are telling me that all those ambassadors that they have in Nigeria, somebody is telling me that all those, the German ambassador, the British, don't they see all these things? The US ambassador, don't you people see this travesty going on? Are you blind to the idiocy of the zoo, what they are doing? Are you that foolish that you cannot see what is happening in the zoo? You give them support. Mike Pompeo gave them 40 million a few days ago to support them in the north in what they are doing. But the 40 million is being spent sending troops to a peaceful area to go and kill innocent people who are terrorists in the north, ravaging the whole place. And you're telling me that such people are human beings? Is that what you're trying to convince me? You're telling me that we Africans are normal? You think I'm going to pet you? Oh, I'm black and proud. Rubbish. Your brains are empty. You cannot reason. Because if you can reason very well, there is no way you produce cocoa in Africa and import chocolate from Western Europe. If your brain is normal, there is no way you can have all the natural and mineral resources you have in Africa and you're drowning in the Mediterranean. There is one simple reason for it. We are daft. Daft to the core. What did I say? Oh, I have PhD. I went to this school. I went to that. Your brain is empty. The collective is what matters. Collective, not you as an individual. A lesson that World Igbo Congress must learn. A lesson they ought to learn. Though in America, I am a pharmacist, I'm a doctor, I'm a nurse, I own my own business. Just you. The day you die, your children will go and marry Mexicans and your name will be gone forever and ever. Mad people everywhere. They are even now. Kidnappers open fire, abduct passengers on Lokoja Abuja Highway. Vanguard newspaper. These are what I'm telling you. You know, before they will say, oh, they fabricated the story. It's a Biafrans. They are fabricating story. It's from their paper in Nigeria. Nigerian newspaper, daily. Vanguard. Kidnappers open fire, abduct passengers on Lokoja Abuja. Why can't the army in Biafra and the army in my father's compound, why don't they go and patrol? That is their job. Go and patrol Lokoja Abuja Highway. They won't. Because they are all in the same game together. They are all terrorists, all of them. They have one agenda to Islamize and to enslave all of us. Forget all the nonsense. Once in a while, Sultan of Sokoto will come out. We need to maintain tolerance. All of us. They know what they are doing. Of course. They are chewing you away. Alive. And they are blowing soothing breeze. One person is Buratai is there conducting or waging a jihadi war against Biafrans, and they bring us Sultan. We are one people, religious unity. That buffoon go on. Let's pray for one Nigeria. His own village is gone. If you doubt me, go and ask T.Y. Danjuma. Is Plateau not gone? Of course it's gone. They've taken it over. It's gone. Because they were busy fighting their friends from the east instead of facing the raw enemy from the north. They say police fight back, rescue some passengers, arrest 4 kidnapper members or whatever they call it, people belonging to the gang. But nobody, you cannot hear Willis Toyinka or somebody ask. Or their Senate House or whatever rubbish they call it, House of Reps, asking the question: if we are having insecurity in the north, people are being abducted and being killed, beheaded every blessed day. What is the army doing in Isiama Faruku at the home of Nnamdi Kanu? What is the army doing there? Let the army justify what they are doing there, but they won't ask, and that is why they are dying. They think that they can mock God. You know who God is in heaven? Watch and see what is going to happen. The zoo will be decimated. Write it down now. I don't believe in. I'm not from Baka or any of these idiots. Grand envelope prophecy. What I tell you is what is going to happen. I speak with the divine authority from heaven. I'm telling you that the zoo, you see, God in heaven will destroy Nigeria beyond recognition. Write it down on a piece of paper. It's called implosion from within. They will eat their own flesh. What What I tell you is from heaven, direct. I in fact, you should give that clip to Amaka to distribute so they will hear it. In 2015, I said it. I made it very, very clear to the whole world that it's coming. I warned you about ISIS before they came. Didn't I warn you about what is going to happen? In 2015, let me see if I can actually find the clip and play it, that the world may bear us witness. Yes, thank you very much, Solomon. Sorry, St. Teresa Catholic Church in Madala, I remember. St. Teresa's, 25th of December 2011, when they planned to get rid of Jonathan. President Goodluck Jonathan was in office. This was the opening salvo that we have come. You must be gone. I went to Sweden. Some of you don't know, I went to Sweden. I spoke to a very powerful journalist in Sweden. I asked him what is happening. He said, oh, Jonathan cannot tackle the insurgency and the terrorism. We need an ex-general who can do it. I said, from here in Sweden, you know an ex-general who can do it. And it's Buhari. At that time, I knew, of course, what the zoo does best. They have shared all their money. I keep saying it all the time. The reason why the US ambassador, UK High Commissioner, EU ambassador to Nigeria, the reason why they don't file accurate reports back to their home country is because once you assume that position, they give you money. $1 million in an account somewhere, offshore account. They give you all the details and you go there and you take your money. So they can be killing people beside the US embassy in Abuja. They will never file that report to their home country. They won't go to the state government in America. Never. People can be... Some of you saw what they did to the Shia protesters. Army came out of broad daylight, lined up and was firing at innocent people. We fought to secret news all over the world. No way. America called their embassy in Abuja and asked them, is this report true? They said no, that the video is a doctored video. The erstwhile US ambassador, that the video was doctored. This is what is happening in the zoo. All these ambassadors. Tell me any other country in the world, the level of insecurity you have in Nigeria today, and nothing is happening. It is only the effort we are making that is making the US State Department and Trump to even speak, to say, oh, we are going to defend Christians and all that. No, we want to maintain peace in Nigeria so that the region will not collapse. Who told you the region will collapse? What was the region like before Lugard came? We want to go back to where we were before. You came from Europe to colonize useless, hopeless Africans. Yeah, I know some of them will start cussing now and run away from the truth. What is the truth? I'm telling you the gospel truth. You are all there. I'm in Nigeria. Where is my flag? Where is my badge? I'm in Nigeria. We're Nigerians. Be patriotic. Are you not ashamed of yourself? Are you not ashamed of yourself? I'm asking you. So you're telling me that a man can come from Europe and come to your land and tell you who you are? And I ask you again. Before Lugard came, before 1914, what nationality was your grandmother, or your grandfather, or your great-grandfather? You can't answer, can you? Because you're black, you're stupid, and you're dumb. Your brain is sealed with idiocy. You cannot reason. That is why you're proud to answer the name of a country created by a white man. Shame on all of you that call yourselves Nigerians. Shame on all of you, I say. They are killing people. No wonder. They are killing people in the north, and the army is in East Africa for the patrolling. That portrays, or should I say, betrays your idiocy. There are bandits hijacking luxurious buses. They are burning our markets. Some of you still pretend, oh, Enugu market is on fire. Oh, wait, the market is on fire. Oh, Chanya market is on fire. So you don't know they're all coordinated terror attacks by the Muslims, by the Fulani terrorists. You don't know that. Not by the Muslims, please. Don't get me wrong. Not Muslims, but by Fulani terrorists using the name of Islam to commit impunity, burning down our markets, timber shade everywhere on fire. They head their cattle towards timber shade on the market. In the night, they go and they light it. If you catch them, they'll call the GOC of 82 Division. Haruna Musa. Release him immediately. Release him. He released. Those arrested that went to Uzo 1 to kill people, were they not release all of them? In Anambra, if you kill one of us, you give us 500,000, according to governor of Anambra State, Obiano. And some of you are walking about as if everything is normal. And you're telling me that your brains are correct. Oh dear. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. The zoo is crumbling, it is on fire. Of course, why won't it be on fire? They are playing with us. Our mission is divine. God in heaven sent us to do this very work we are doing. That is why Biafra must come. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter the amount of propaganda. It doesn't matter the amount you use to bribe all the foreign missions in Abuja and in Lagos. It doesn't matter if you've bought over CNN, bought over Financial Times, bought over Telegraph in the UK. It doesn't matter if you have bought over Associated French Press, AFP. It doesn't matter. In the end, Biafra will come. It doesn't, I'm being honest. Remember when we started? We used to tell them, I used to tell people that it doesn't matter what you do. We will get to where we're going. Today, they have seen the light. Do you think IPOB do you think anybody can stop us? Let's be very serious. Do you think anybody can stop us? Nobody can. Not even that wretched slave Okon says he's the CP of Abia State, police commissioner. IPOB should not come to Isiaba Farouk. They shouldn't come to Umuaya. They have been designated a terrorist group. The idiot is there and the Fulani headsmen are killing people in his village. He is wearing police uniform in Umuaya, talking like an animal without a brain. These are the idiots that we have. His name is Okon. He's a Biafran. But he needs to serve his masters in the north. And then, sometimes I begin to wonder, how did the Fulanis actually manage to get people in this position? How did they manage to do it? How? How did they manage to do it? Some of you are just moving about aimlessly and sheepishly on a daily basis without the capacity to reason or to think for yourselves. Very, very sad indeed, I say. Extremely sad. Extremely sad, I'm telling you. Very, very sad indeed. Oh, God, they shouldn't come. But Fulani herdsmen are going about killing people every day. In Abia State, you've done nothing. They rape, they kill, they pillage, you do nothing. It's peaceful IPOB coming for burial. There, you want to come and stop us now. But I'm saying this live on air to the whole world so they know. So that when you want to call me a terrorist, you can say it with every ounce of conviction. I am saying this to the governor, I won't say the governor, to the Commissioner of Police in Abia State, Mr. Okon. I'm saying it so the world can hear. If anything happens to any IPOB member on the 14th of February, all your children will be killed. If you like, you try. If you like, you try. Any army officer, I saw one in army jeep with one red star. We will find your name. Any commander, I'm letting the whole world know. I want Britain to know. So when it happens, I'll be arrested. I want to be arrested. I want to go to a law court in England to argue this very matter. If they kill anybody in my father's compound on the 14th, I swear to God in heaven, every commander, everybody in charge of any platoon or division that fired that shot, your children will be dead. We will hunt them down wherever they are in the world. We will slaughter them in broad daylight. We will go to prison. Then you will see how painful it is to lose a child violently. Try us and see on the 14th. That's an global party, we're not going to drag this issue. We're not dragging it. Commissioner Okon, are you hearing me? I said, come to Isiama Faruku and kill somebody on the 14th of February 2020. I assure you, before the end of this year, we'll find your children, your wife, will murder all of them, will slaughter all of them. Put it on record, that's what I said. Mad people. Now you will see madness. We have left the people alone. We are not armed. We have not killed anybody. We have not. Look at the protest we go on. Has anybody ever reported that anything is missing? Do you know we are IPOB? Do you know why they call us Umuchineke? Do you know the reason why they call us that? Because our mission is spiritual. It is not carnal. It is not something that money can buy. We are not looking at material things. We are looking at the message from heaven that the children of God in Biafra must be free. That is what we are doing. Leave us alone to do our thing. Defeat us with the weight of your argument. You're busy. Any evil people, you shoot them dead. Oh, because we've been quiet. 14th of February 2020 is the Rubicon. Come to Biafra and kill somebody. All of you, including Burata, will hunt your children, then will kill them. You people are very good at saving recording. Save this one. Because when it happens, you will tell Britain or you will tell USA. When it comes in, arrest him. He did this. I will gladly submit myself for arrest. Let us go to court. And then the court will ask you what are you doing in this village. Mad people everywhere. Useless. Come to Ishama for on the 14th and kill somebody. I swear to God, this Shuko Karan I worship and I praise. I swear to him, from Buratai down, all your children will be killed. And I'm giving an order tonight. You must find where the children live, all of them. Every police commissioner, every commander, 82 division, airborne division in Igwacha, everywhere. Find me their children, where they are schooling, where they are living, all of them, find them. Let us show them our own madness. Because they have shown us madness, we will now show them double madness, that we are insane. When I said I'm insane for Biafra, they don't understand. Now I will show them how insane I am. Their children will be killed. I am telling you this. Come to Biafra and shoot on the 14th. You see what will happen to you. All of you, one after the other. Oh, go on, I'm warning you. I'm placing you on warning. I'm letting, because before I do something, I tell you what I'm going to do before I do it. I'm telling you now, come to Biafra and kill somebody in my father's compound, my father and my mother's burial. Your own children will die. You can't bury them.
Agitation, the person asked Buhari, agitation, is this an indication that Mr. Buhari supports violence? These are Western foreign analysts telling the whole world that this man is a violent criminal. There's some of you would not listen, you will not have it. Against this background, we have the likes of Miyeti today. Miyeti Allah, that raped and killed our mothers. That raped a woman to death. Miyeti Allah raped a woman to death in Ebonyi. You know what they said? Southeast governors committed to Nigeria's unity. Now you know where your problems lie. These are the issues bedeviling us, and these are the things that we are working to make our people working very hard to let Biafrans understand that these people you call your governors, that they are there to destroy us as a people. They won't understand it. It is now happening. It is now happening. The time now is approximately 9 p.m. in Biafra, 3 minutes past 9 in the evening, and we are proceeding with it. We are continuing with this very broadcast because we are heading somewhere. We want to build, should I say, the context, and then we land. You now know that Ipob is fighting very hard for you. Even Jubril opened his mouth to acknowledge it. You now also know that Buhari, before he died and Jubril took over, they were working for what is happening today. That was why they appointed Tanko Muhammad to be doing what he's doing today, canvassing for Sharia. The same thing they did in 1812, in 1802, 1812 to the Hausa people is what they're doing to everybody now, as I warned you. That time they were fighting for corruption and the enthronement of Sharia, the same thing they're doing today. But some of you are too blind, you cannot see. But thankfully, you have Ipob, alerting you to the dangers that you face every day that you wake up in the zoo. Do you know that when Buhari was alive, he never even acknowledged the existence of ISIS? This government have done a very good job protecting. I want to prove that Buhari is part and parcel of ISIS, Boko Haram, and the rest of them. They have done a very good job, and some of you are very blind, they cannot see. Only a few days ago, what did they say? That Boko Haram is no longer operating. Isn't that what they said? That Boko Haram no longer operates in the zoo. We know about people who have been beheaded, killed every blessed day. We hear about something happening in the zoo. It's no longer news. But I also want to tell you that this is news, in case you have forgotten. I want you to go back to your system and please Google Boko Haram names Buhari, 5 others as mediators. Now, if you don't know somebody, can you name the person as a mediator? The world is blind. They tried to remove this news many times, but we saved it because we know a day like this will come when the world will be trying to excuse evil, when Britain will be trying to cover up evil and what Satan is doing in the zoo. It is here. Listen carefully to this very news, please. Go and Google it. How can Boko Haram name Buhari as a chief negotiator if they don't know who he is? The man who campaigned for Sharia law to be imposed, a man who said they are in agitation, a man that made Western media to question the sanity of Nigerians, saying to them, how can you even allow this man to be on ballot paper? That said he's agitating for Sharia. He's committed to Sharia. They'll do everything to bring in Sharia. I'll read on Vanguard newspaper, and they did very well. The leadership of Jama'atul Ali Sunnah leader Awati Wal Jihad, that's their name, they are known as Boko Haram, has named the former head of state and presidential candidate of CPC, that was the party from General Muhammadu Buhari, among 6 prominent northerners, always Fulani, to mediate the group and the federal government. Are you listening? Some of you, are you listening? This is the man that is the granddaddy of terrorists. That was why they named him. That was why they named him as their chief negotiator. It's there for the whole world to see. And I'm sure tomorrow people will come to argue very blindly. Even, I know that even Facebook is helping them, but they will never succeed. You know they will never, ever, ever succeed. Never. We are telling our people about these dangers before it confronts them. Buhari was invited, but not invited, discussed with Boko Haram. They named him, and they gave Jonathan conditions, which I'm sure some of you well know, and Jonathan said no, he wasn't going to accept it. And have you also forgotten? Listen very carefully. You know the damage that Boko Haram have caused and all the terrorists from Fulani North. You know what they have done, don't you? I also want you to Google this, very, very important. Buhari calls terrorists misguided brothers. They are his brothers. Urges them to embrace peace. They are his brothers. Terrorists are his brothers. It is here. Go and Google it. Buhari calls terrorists misguided brothers. And people are still questioning why Boko Haram is still there, why you have ISIS, why you have Al-Qaeda in West Africa, in the Maghreb, why you have Fulani headsmen. When the chief terrorist is the one who is in power, they are his brothers. He opened his mouth and said they are his misguided brothers. And why are they misguided? I'm going to prove it to you tonight. You know why they're misguided, Boko Haram? Because Buhari told Boko Haram, when he was alive, to attack military and Christians, and Shekau said no. He went and formed another group. I told you they formed another group before. In my broadcast I said they formed another group. Some of you were not listening. I want to prove tonight that this Buhari formed another group of terrorists. I want to prove it to you. I'm good. You can see how they started with their Sharia. How Sharia was supreme, how they did election, used violence, decimated and cowed the Christian populations of the Middle Belt. Something they are doing to us today. Destroy, bring in army, Operation Python Dance 1, Python Dance 2, Python Dance 3, Python Dance 4. They will keep doing it to intimidate you, to have fear in you. So once they say, you are building a mosque, you say, oh, please go ahead and build, but don't kill me. He called, can you think of somebody calling a terrorist group my misguided brothers? Can you imagine that? That's what he called them. They are his misguided brothers. And some of you are still embracing the zoo called Nigeria. Some of you think that the zoo will somehow make your life better. Very, very sad indeed. Very, very sad indeed. The things that you need to know. What am I going to tell you? Let me tell you also that they are all in it together. Buhari, Abba Kyari, El Rufai, Sultan of Sokoto, all these people are in this killing game together. All of them, they are in it together. Some of you have forgotten, haven't you? Because you have a very shallow memory. You are Nigerians, you don't reason very well. Very shallow memory some of you have. I want to tell about a man called El Rufai and the Kaduna killings. Have you forgotten? Go and Google it. He's from Punch newspaper. El Rufai and Kaduna killings. These are the people you call politicians, our leaders. They are the terrorists in office. These are pure terrorists in office. But you don't know, do you? And we are here to tell you, Boko Haram are your brothers. They are your brothers. Boko Haram, they named you as the chief negotiator. You know nothing about them. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Kaduna State Governor Nasser El Rufai made a startling revelation last week. Not this, I'm telling you, when was this story published? It was on December the 9th of 2016, 3 years ago. That diminutive short devil called Pinchomi, is like a pygmy, El Rufai. He made a declaration last week. He publicly admitted that he sent, listen carefully to this, so-called Nigerians, listen very well. Some of you are daft beyond repair, daft beyond recognition. This OG daft. This is a man that paid terrorists. El Rufai, from his own mouth, he said he sent emissaries to give money from Nigeria, from Central Bank of Nigeria, to Fulani terrorists who had been killing people, mass killing mostly Christians in southern Kaduna, in retaliation for alleged deaths of their members and cows. You remember when this man also tweeted that every Fulani killed is a debt owed, that they will all be paid back. They went to Central Bank of Nigeria, brought out millions of dollars, and gave to Fulani headsmen who are killing people in one Nigeria. And you're telling me you love Nigeria. You're telling me Nigeria is your country. Unbelievable. 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 Now listen to what the governor said. El Rufai, a governor, he is vying to be president. And I'm sure there are some people from Biafra and the Igbos especially, who out of hunger, go out of hunger and no shame, will take money from this diminutive devil to go and campaign for him. I know some of them will. They are evil, that way, no shame, no class, no honor, and no dignity. Do you know what he said? I said go and Google it. I don't know why I'm reading this thing. So go and Google it yourself. El Rufai and Kaduna killings. These are those you vote for to be in power, or those that rig themselves into power. This is how lives are as Nigerians. This is how hopeless and useless some of you are. I thank you, I'm a Biafran. I'm telling you, I thank God in heaven I'm creating a Biafran and I'm raising the way that I do. Unbelievable. The same thing they are trying to do to us, it was what they did to Yorubas in Kwara State, in Ilorin. They subdued the Yoruba, they subdued them, put them under the rug. Put them under the rug and said they are nothing. You rule when we say you rule. That's why it's only been Obasanjo, nobody else. When Abiola came, they said, no, you're a Muslim, but no, you're blood or whatever they call them. You're underneath us, you cannot do anything. And Obasanjo agreed to give them Sharia outside the constitution and they made him the president. Now you understand it. Now you know why they hate IPOB. Now you understand why they think they can shut us down, but they cannot. It is impossible. They know they are fighting a losing battle. They know they can never defeat IPOB. It is impossible because we keep exposing them. The whole world will hear about. The whole world will know what El Rufai has done. They cannot cover it with bribery. It's not possible. It's there in black and white. Listen to what El Rufai said. You know, Nigerians, I don't know what is wrong with them. I can't understand those people, honestly. He said, so many of these people were killed, cattle lost, and they organized themselves and came back to revenge. Fulani came back to revenge. There are one or two that ask for monetary compensation. As they're killing people, they say to the government, if you don't give me money, I won't stop. I'll keep killing. The government then ran to the bank and brought money from the national coffers. The same oil money that some idiots that claim they're from Nigeria that will say is our money. They're using it to pay foreign terrorists to buy more weapons and then come to Bayelsa State and wreak havoc. You see the way it works? Only Biafra can save you. Only it doesn't matter what you do. You can dance from here to heaven and back. Only Biafra can save. Only Biafra can save the Christians in the Middle Belt. Only Biafrans can save everybody everywhere in the zoo. If you don't want this jihad to swallow you, if Jonathan doesn't want this jihad to swallow him, he needs to support Biafra. If you don't want to be consumed in this rage of the Fulani, marxed in Islamic extremism, then you must join IPOB, you must join Biafra, or else you're finished. Remember, I told you they will use you, they will dump you. I told the Shomole they will use you, they will dump you. The same thing will happen to Tinubu. They will use you, they will dump you. And your eyes will then open. You will know how foolish you have been. They are killing people. And as the Fulanis are slaughtering Christians in southern Kaduna, BBC did not write about it, nor comment, nor send their crews there. No CNN, no ABC, no CNBC, nothing. They kept slaughtering. And as they are slaughtering innocent people, they said to Kaduna State Governor, give us money. If you don't give us money, we won't stop. And the idiot is proudly saying, as they were asking for money, I gave them money. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Do you know that El Rufai admitted to knowing terrorists, Fulani headsmen that are killing people? The fourth most deadly terror group in the world. A governor that is aspiring to be president, a Sharia advocate, an Islamist said, I know them. But nobody is bothered. No persecution, no nothing. Just like that. Because you're in Nigeria and they're the ones ruling. And you call yourself a proud Nigerian. And I say, shame unto you. Nigeria, they have an anti-terror law in Nigeria that says that aiding and abetting terrorism is a crime. It's in their constitution. Good evening, wonderful people, great Biafrans, wherever you are, in this coronavirus-infested planet. We welcome you to a very special Radio Biafra live transmission, hosted by my humble self, Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of Ipob all over this world, and by the very special grace of Elohim, a servant of the wonderful people of Biafra, not minding this very debilitating pandemic, not minding the pain and the hardship that people are encountering all over the world, particularly Biafrans. I will say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you, irrespective of where you are. You are always in our thoughts and in our prayers. We continue to pray ceaselessly, not just to ask for the grace and the preservation of God Almighty in heaven, but that we may be shown a way out of this very darkness, that we may be guided out of this very pestilence, that this very family, this very Biafra, this very Ipob might endure to the glory of Biafra and the eternal adoration of the God that have set us on this very path. Therefore, as we preach this very gospel, as we begin to outline what we are all going to do to remain safe in the midst of this very deadly pandemic, I ask you to please tell those who are around you if it is safe to do so. Inform friends, inform relatives, and inform families all over the world to tune into CHK 102.1 or 102.2. In some areas it is 102.3. This very broadcast this evening is cast simultaneously on satellite. We are on Facebook on my page, Martin Nnamdi Kanu. We are on Radio Biafra page. We tried to go into Radio Biafra London and they refused. But we must preach this very gospel. We must ensure the safety of Biafrans all over the world. We must take care of our vulnerable at home. We must make sure that the hospitals are equipped and staffed adequately to deal with what is to come. It is no longer a question of if, but when this very disaster will strike, and strike in a very deadly fashion. We must be prepared. We cannot afford to take any chances. We are prayerful, that is true. We are the children of light, that also is not in dispute. We are the chosen and the beloved of the Creator in heaven, that no one can doubt nor question also. But we must take precaution. We must do what is right, not just to safeguard ourselves, but to also be mindful of the fragility of the health of our parents and our grandparents, because we do not want to bury them en masse. Therefore, this broadcast this evening is very, very vital. It is very, very important that we not only listen, but take the advice we are about to be given very, very seriously. because we thought this very pandemic, this very strain of corona will just give you a mild symptom of flu and it will disappear. But it seems to me that those that designed this very deadly virus may have some ulterior motive. Before we proceed this evening, we must hand over our proceedings to the Most High Chukwokika Biama Elohim Purimihanine, to remember all those who are suffering, those who cannot go to work, those who are shut out from every means of livelihood, those who are in distress because their loved one has either passed on or they are fighting for their dear lives in hospital. We remember all of them this very evening. We must bow our heads and we must pray for those who do not understand the Igbo language, for those who may become perplexed at the language of our prayer. You must bear with us. We pray in the language of heaven. If you are privileged to be sat or kneeling in front of the Creator of the heavens and this very earth, you will hear the angels speak Igbo language. You will hear them adore and worship Elohim Chukwokika Biama in the language of the ancients, the very oldest language on the face of this very planet. Therefore, we must pray. Chineke na nke pụrụ n'ihe niile, onye pụrụ ihu ma pụrụ azụ, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị, eze ebube dị ngọzi ma ruo mgbe ebighị ebi, onye ịhụnanya ya sachiri ihe niile nke ya onwe ya kere eke, Chineke nna nke mmụọ na mmadụ na-akpụ isi ala nye, onye anyị na-ebuli aha nsọ ya elu, onye ndị mmụọ ozi na-agba ocheeze ya okirikiri n'ime eluigwe wee na-asị na ọ dị nsọ, ndị okenye ọrụ abụọ na anọ wee na-atụ mkpọ ọlaedo n'ala na-asị na nsọ 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 ka Jehova dị. Anyị wee na-akpụ isi ala nye, wee na-asị site n'ihe amara gị Chineke na nke igwe na ihere agaghị eme ndị gị. O nweghị mgbe ọbụla o ji wee bụrụ obi m n'obi gị na ị ga-ewere iwe wee kpochapụ ndị gị eze ebube dị ngọzi. Anyị wee na-arịọ ka aka mkpuchite gị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi wee chekwa ndị gị bụ ụmụ gị bụ ndị Biafra n'ụwa niile. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị n'isi ndị ikwu na ndị ibe, anyị wee na-akpọku aha nsọ onye bi n'igwe n'isi ndị ọgọ. Anyị wee na-arịọ gị eze ebube dị ngọzi wee sị gị biko chetakwa Israel, ma chetakwa ndị nọ na Amerịka wee na-ata ahụhụ, cheta ụmụnne anyị ndị nọ n'Itali wee na-agabiga ihe niile dị iche. Anyị wee na-echeta ndị nọ na Spain n'ime eluigwe ka i wee mere ha amara. Ụmụ gị nọ na Germany, onwe ndị nọ na China, Chineke nna nke igwe, ụfọdụ n'ime ha nọ na Singapore, ụmụ gị nọ n'India, ụmụ gị nọ na South Africa, ha na ebe niile dị iche iche. Onye ka eluigwe maka olu ụwa anyị wee na-arịọ gị were ndụ ndị dị etu a wee nyefee n'ọbara n'aka gị, na-asị ya onye pụrụ ime ihe niile, ka nụra gị wee zuo oke n'ime ndụ anyị, ka ị wee zọpụta ndị gị, ka ndị dị etu a wee bụrụ ndị dị ndụ n'ala nke ndị dị ndụ wee hụ Biafra onye nwe nna Chineke nna. N'ihi na nna m na nne m ahapụwo onye nwe mbinigwe wee kwe m nkwa si na Biafra ga-adịrị na mkpe nke anyị. Wee na-arịọ gị eze ebube dị ngọzi, n'ihi na ụwa niile na-anụ ekpere gị. Onye ime eluigwe biko ka iwe mere anyị ebere, ka iwe onye anyị amamihe ma nye anyị ọgụgụ isi, wee wezugara anyị ekworo na ntamu, ka iwe wezuga ihe ọjọọ niile onye anyị ịhụnanya gị onye nwe m na Chineke nna ka iwe rọpụtara anyị ka esi wee mee oke osimiri ihe wee kewaa abụọ ụmụ gị wee si n'ime ya wee gafee mgbe ha si n'aka Fero na nke ebere nke gị onwe gị wezugara ha n'ime ya wee na-agafe ha wee si n'ụzọ adịzighị iwe rọpụtara ha ụzọ ebe ụzọ na-adịghị ọ bụ ikikere ya eze ebube dị ngọzi anyị wee na-arịọ gị wee na-aja gị mma onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-achị iwe ya atụmatụ nna nke ebere n'ihi na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye kere ihe niile ekere eke mana onweghị onye kere gị ụmụ gị wee na-akpọkụ gị n'abalị ya eluigwe wee na-agba aka ebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị n'ime ndụ anyị wee na-arịọ gị Chineke nna nkụsu niile nke ndị agha ka ị wee mere anyị ebere wee zọpụta ndị gị wee nye ndị niile bụ ndị na-agba mbọ ka anyị nwee ahụ isi ike bụ ndị dọkịta na ndị nọọsụ onye nwe nna Chineke nna gaka iwe gbaa ha ume ma kasie ha obi ma nyekwa ha ikikere nke ha onwe ha na-amaghị na ha nwere izizi ka ha wee lekọta ndị ọrịa Chineke nna nke igwe ka ha wee lekọta ndị ọrịa ụzọ ọbụla anyị si wee mejọọ gị ụzọ ọbụla anyị si wee zọjụọ ụkwụ ụzọ ọbụla anyị si wee kwutọọ gị nna nke ebere dị ngọzi mere anyị ebere Chineke nna nke igwe onye kere igwe n'ụwa ma mere ndị gị ebere onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ nwanne otu onye biko mere ndị gị ebere ma zọpụta anyị n'aka ajọ ihe a anyị enweghị onye ọzọ anyị na-agbapụje onweghị onye ọzọ anyị na-arịọ enyemaka ọ bụ n'aka gị ka ngọzi si wee bịa Chineke nna nke igwe ọ bụ n'aka gị ka nzọpụta ga-esi wee bịa onye kachasị ihe niile elu ọ bụ sọsọ n'aka gị esi ebube dị ngọzi ka eluigwe n'ụwa ga-eji wee gbaa aka ebe na ọ bụ naanị gị bụ onye kere ihe niile ekere eke mana onweghị onye kere gị anyị wee na-arịọ gị ka iwe nara otuto ka iwe nara nsọpụrụ ka iwe nara ikpe isi n'ala ka iwe nara ịja mma Chineke nna dị ngọzi site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ka anyị na-arịọ gị ise mma mma dịrị gị Chineke mma mma dịrị gị Chineke mma mma dịrị gị Chineke. We must proceed to preach this very gospel. And our people must listen and listen very attentively, because coronavirus is not a joke. You must assimilate and absorb everything that I'm going to tell you, because it is based on the very finest and soundest medical advice available around the world at the moment. Thoroughly and carefully researched in order to ensure that Biafrans all over the world come out of this pandemic intact, that we may all live to see the promise of God in our lives, because Biafra is the only thing that matters. Wealth and riches do not matter. The only thing of concern to those of us who are called both in flesh and in spirit to restore Biafra, the only thing that drives us every blessed day, the only determination that we possess, the only thing that we get out of the bed in the morning for, is to see the promise of God upon our lives, the restoration of Biafra. And I am deeply troubled and distressed about what we observe on a daily basis. This morning we are being told that the United States of America, where incidentally there are a lot of Biafrans, that very country of God is under very serious pressure to contain this virus, with very limited success, I must say. We must understand that it is for our own benefit that we follow every guideline being issued by a government, be they at the center, be they at the local level, you must rigorously and diligently abide by whatever instructions you are given, even when that instruction means that your freedom and movement is curtailed. You must adhere to it. Very, very important. It is for your own survival. When this very virus started, a lot of people, including myself, we thought it was another version or variation, or should I say variant, I have to be grammatically correct, of SARS. You remember the SARS, the swine flu and all the rest of them. But this one is more sinister. Very, very sinister and deadly. The rate of contamination, the way it propagates, the way it transmits from one person to the other is frightening. I was one of those that believed that the media was trying to scare us. I was one of those that gravitated towards the notion that this could all be one giant stage managed event to try to raise the stocks of the pharmaceutical companies. I was one of those that believed that perhaps this was something they designed and released in order to scare us into some kind of conformity. But that is not the case. This very virus is very, very deadly, I assure you. The essence of this very program this evening is to drive home the importance of personal hygiene, the importance of social distancing, very, very important, that you distance yourselves from one another. The essence of confinement at home and also quarantine. Very, very critical. And I say this because in Africa, all over Africa, most of our mothers, our fathers, those in their late 50s, 60s, 70s and upwards, we predominantly suffer from diabetes. For some bizarre and perverse reason, most of the deaths recorded abroad, most of the people that have died so far from this very illness, a sizable, should I say, significant proportion of them have diabetes. That is why we must take this very, very seriously. Because this very virus kills people in a very nasty way. There was a clip I was watching, a live interview with a patient in a hospital. He said that this disease actually makes you feel that sleeping is better. Remember that thing that malaria does to you? You remember malaria. When malaria comes, it will be pushing you to go and sit under the sun, to go near a fire, to receive warmth. Do you remember? That thing is actually killing you. Is not allowing your body to develop its own immune system to fight back. That is what malaria does. Lures you into a false sense of security that sunlight is good for you. If you remember, that is what this virus does to people. It makes you feel like sleeping is very good. Lying down is wonderful. And I regret to say this. In very small number of people have those the doctors gave, you know, the machine that helps people to breathe, because I have to be as descriptive as possible this evening. You know, the equipment that you see people wear that helps them to breathe. Once you go in there, very few people come out because they have not yet realized that the best way to treat these people is by getting them to be mobile. This is the evidence coming from patients. This very afternoon, they call them respirators, for some of you who are looking for the name. we cannot afford to get to that very critical position. Because if we allow ourselves to become contaminated, if we allow ourselves to become infected through our carelessness, if we allow our parents to become infected as a result of our own carelessness, can you imagine or dream of where we can get 20,000 respirators from? The machine that will help people to breathe, which is what most orthodox doctors are going for. Where are we going to get the expertise, or should I say the expert medical personnel to attend or to tend to nearly, say, roughly, let's say 200,000 people? Most of us live in very congested, densely populated areas. In Onitsha, in Aba, not so much as Enugu, in Lagos, in Kanu, some areas also in Abuja. What do you think will happen should this virus get into those places? Look at what is happening in Italy. Italy is one of the most advanced countries in the world. Look at what is happening in New York, of all places. New York and Texas in America, they have the two most advanced in the whole world, more than any other country. They have the most advanced healthcare, the most advanced medical services on this very earth. Texas and New York. Look at what is happening in New York. I couldn't believe that a doctor said that they're having to make a choice as to who dies and who lives. That's how difficult it is. It is not hearsay. It is not something people watching. I heard the doctor giving interview from inside the hospital. And to make, to even bring the horror closer home, there's a place called Excel Center in London, for those of you that know it. They're preparing, it won't be actually a surprise, for people to hear that the British Army is involved in the building of a field hospital, because in the zoo, the army is involved in arresting people and in stockpiling food for themselves. That's what Burata is doing. But in the UK, they went to Excel Center to build 14,000 beds. And the funniest thing is that it's not that they're building a field hospital. Also nearby, they are building a mortuary. In other words, all the finest statisticians you have in the Western world, all the finest brains that you have, are basically projecting that at least 16% of those that we admitted are going to die. That is why, as well as building a field hospital, they are also building a morgue, a mortuary, to take people in. I would not be that distressed nor disturbed if in Nigeria and across Africa and in Biafra land there are good hospitals, good health care. We don't have any. Previously, we also thought that because this virus cannot survive in temperatures above 28 degrees, that somehow the sun back home will kill it. Probably that is why it's slowing it down. But the difficulty is that most people have it and they do not know they have it. And the worst thing about this very virus is that they can transmit it to other people without even having or feeling ill or any form of sickness, without showing any of the symptoms. They can still transmit and infect other people. Why am I elaborating? For the simple reason that it is very, very important we stop traveling. Very, very important we stop traveling. Very, very important that we enforce self-confinement. Now we'll get to the to the very obvious fact that people don't have food to eat and all the rest of it, and what we are doing about it as IPOB. Because you don't expect us to keep quiet. I am concerned about our people, and we need to do something about it. This is the time to jettison and abandon any kind of misunderstanding, disagreement, rivalry, or should I say, let us just leave it at misunderstanding. I think that's better. We must come together as a people to try to defeat this very virus. Once we've defeated this very virus, we can go back to doing what we do. But right now, there is need for coming together of our people from all walks of life, every persuasion, to allow our race, the Biafran race, to emerge from this very scourge unscathed, or else disaster awaits. People, let me just tell you this. There was an information published by Breitbart yesterday. Forget all the nonsense they're telling you that it has no new cases reported in China. That is rubbish. Because if you ask the Chinese telecom, ask China Telecom, they will tell you that from December of 2019 to last week Sunday, 20 million mobile phone users in China have gone off the grid. I repeat, 20 million. We know that people can have 2 mobile phones, they can have 3, they can have 4. We know that people move for one reason or the other. But if you can have this in mind, that we live in a world where every transaction is done via your mobile phone. I mean, everything. Nobody goes to the bank anymore. Everything is done via your mobile phone in advanced countries. To have 20 million people missing from the list of China Telecom, this used to be previous mobile phone owners, tells you about the enormity and the gravity of this problem. In countries that are democracies around the world, they are far more open, far more transparent. They allow questions to come and they answer as honestly as they can. But in countries like China, where there is no openness, you cannot take what they are telling you, that they have successfully contained this very virus. They have not. I repeat, they have not. People are dying all over the place. These are in countries with advanced medical systems. Imagine what will happen in places like Ajegunle. Just think about it. People go to Luth in Yaba, Lagos University. People go there to die. Ask yourself this question: where are you going to go to get treatment? Should you become infected? Where on earth in the zoo can you go to? That is why you must stop traveling. We know in terms of livelihood, and some people will say, if I'm going to die through coronavirus, let it be. But there is no food. And as I said, we are doing something about that. I will get to that later. But for now, please, halt every non-essential travel. Stop going to the market. Anytime there is a restriction, please adhere and abide by it. That tells you how serious this is. It is not a joke. In the advanced parts of the world, where they have, basically, in my view, people that actually made this very virus, they have lost 22,000 people. 22,000 dead already, officially. I know people are dead in their millions in China. Forget what they're saying. And they claim that the bulk of the new cases being recorded, as we all know, they are all outside the epicenter, the former origin of this virus, is in the Wuhan city in China. All the new cases are outside, and I say this to you. The person who was actually saying this, or that gave the interview from his hospital bed, is a black American, for your information. So all this idea that it doesn't affect black people is false. There is a saying that perhaps those that took the tuberculosis vaccine, that they may be considered safe. We don't know. The best thing to do is to take precaution. Just take precaution. You must wash your hands. Not when you're outside, after touching your face, you come and start washing your hands. By then it's too late. Try as much as possible. For me, it is almost impossible. I've been confined to home in one little space. Don't touch your face. When you go outside, you must wash your hands rigorously. The latest scientific research is that this very virus, a lot of people get infected, not through what they breathe in, but the surfaces they have touched and close proximity to people that already have it. That is something you must understand very, very carefully. So if you have that, what is it called? Is it called N92 or N9 gauze on your nose, you think you're protected, then you're not well. You are not protected. This infection comes via your hands, the palm of your hands mostly, because you touch surfaces, tables, railings. You know, when you get into a bus, you have to hold on to somewhere where the conductor have actually put his hands before. You put it there. You are going to become infected sooner rather than later. And the best thing for us to do is to avoid getting this very deadly infection, because we do not have the hospitals that can sustain the pressure that will come as a result of this very outbreak. Very, very important, you know. Places like United Kingdom that are advanced, the National Health Service very advanced, 477 people and counting dead, including a 21-year-old girl with no history, no previous history of any medical condition, none whatsoever. She just died. That is how deadly this very disease is. And when Bill Gates said he is worried for Africa, I am also worried. I am worried for Africa, that is true. Worried for humanity, that is true. But my primary concern is the people of Biafra. That is my primary constituency. And this virus, if it is found to be as potent in Africa as is proven in Asia, in Europe, and in North America, then we are in for one almighty mess. The best way to prevent this very calamity is by us following every medical directive from the World Health Organization. But sometimes I wonder, how can people follow these directives from World Health Organization when there is no light? Do you see why we fight for Biafra? People, the Janjaweed, the presidency of the zoo, they call them presidency because Buhari is not there. He's a hired hand from Sudan. They call themselves presidency. So any idiot can speak and it's presidency. Whereas in America, when it's the president speaking, you see Trump. Everywhere else in the world, a prime minister is speaking, you see Boris Johnson. You see the prime minister of the country, you see the president of the country, but it's in the zoo. It's called presidency. So anybody can appear. I say presidency. We are in one almighty mess. And the zoo, see what we call Nigeria zoo? And the zoo cannot save you. They can't save themselves. Abba Kyari and Jubril, that they call Buhari, they are not in Abuja. If they are in Abuja, they should show us where they are. They can never show you. You have seen videos and clips of patients in Italy, in America, everywhere. The wife of the Canadian Prime Minister has coronavirus. I think the EU President, Juncker, I think he has coronavirus. They tell you. You can see them. But I am telling you right now that the zoo is non-functional. Nigeria is not functioning. It has no de facto president who is Abba Kyari. There is nobody else in charge. A majority of them are contaminated. They have all infected themselves. Nigeria right now has no government. It has no Senate. In the US, you can see the Senate voting through a stimulus package for the economy. In Nigeria, there is none. Their House of Reps, all they have all run away. Senate, the same thing, they have all run away. There is nobody in charge. The only people in charge in the zoo is Buratai and this Janjaweed army. I will also come to that later. That is the mess that we are facing. That is why we must all take precaution of the very highest order basically to ensure that we survive, that we get through this. It will come to pass eventually, but sadly people are going to die. A lot will have to die unless, I repeat, unless we do something now. And what is that thing we are going to do? We are going to make sure as IPOB that one hospital is designated to start with in every state capital of Biafra land, and we also need to include Edo State as well in this, because we have a lot of Edo people who are in IPOB all over the world and contributing very generously to what we are doing. We are going to have Chike Dosium will expand on this on Sunday during our live broadcast. Hospitals in every state of Biafra land, specialists. Every state will nominate one hospital that IPOB is going to be in charge of, that IPOB will equip and make sure that they have everything necessary to take care of those who are ill. Every state will have to nominate one hospital. We know there is no social welfare, of course, there is none. So I am directing IPOB, that is why we are everywhere. IPOB family units in every Hampstead. I did not say village, I said every Hampstead, every street in Biafra land. The IPOB there should prepare, because we are going to open food, or should I say soup kitchens, for people. Because there are those that go out and sell their vegetables, they sell their onions, they sell their tomatoes, they come back home, and that is how they make income for the day to survive. If people are going to be confined at home, then we must make sure that they don't die of starvation. We are not very rich, but we do have ways and ideas and the requisite intellect to be able to provide for our people. We are going to do the best we can by the special grace of God in heaven. If we all cooperate and be, or should I say remain, as generous as we have always been. We always say, this is not the time for theory nor time for rhetoric. We need to translate all those things we say all the time about love thy neighbor. We must now prove it. We may even have to feed those who are not IPOB in the process. But this is something we are going to do. And efforts are on the way to make sure that this happens in Biafra land. Every civilized country in the world is feeding their people. Some of you may have heard about the stimulus package they announced in the USA, in England, in the UK, everywhere around the world. Even today, Japan also announced one. Now you can see the benefit of being an advanced country, an advanced economy. You can now see why we want Biafra. Because in Biafra, we would have had all these contingencies built into the fabric of society itself. So we can always go back, go to the reserves, they are begging for 22 billion. So where would they get money to feed the people? If people go to work, millions will die. You need to confine people at home, but how are you going to feed them? Anyway, as I said before, my concern is for Biafran people, and we are going to do the best that we can. As I said, Chike Doziem, our head of DOS, will outline the details on Saturday. We are still working on it. I am still working on it. It is very, very important that, as I said earlier, we maintain the very highest standards of hygiene, that we don't travel. These are the key issues here. Don't travel. Self-quarantine. Remain at home. Even when there is no announcement from the government about a lockdown, please lock yourselves down. At least for 4 weeks. To allow this wave to pass. That is how plagues behave. This pestilence, it will come, it will pass. If we avoid it, we will all be alive to continue to agitate for Biafra to come. These are the things that we are going to do. Prayers alone cannot save us. Prayer and fasting cannot save us. I believe in miracle more than anybody else. I do. But our prayer, the prayer that I pray every day, is for God to show us a way out of this. Not for God to kill Corona, because I'm not sure that is going to work. It won't work. Corona is there already. What we are now going to do is to manage our way out of this very crisis, and together as one people, as one nation, we are going to do it. The Nigeria that some of you belong to is an abject failure. They have failed. What is happening all over the world has actually put Africa to shame. All those years of dictatorial rule, all those years of looting, all those years of telling people that you have good hospitals, that you are fighting corruption. You know, that's the thing. I don't like Corona, to be honest with you. It has exposed quite a lot. But I still do not like it. I do not like it. And as we're on air, they're still killing people. Even the military killing people in Biafra community. 2 people dead. We'll get to that later. You know, there is something about the Janja. People say this is not the night to make political speeches, but I have to. Because it's the truth. What I am about to tell you is out there everywhere. But there is no way anybody can deny this. You know that this God we serve in heaven is miraculous. Do you know this tiny virus, Corona? It is the surest way to expose corrupt regimes all over the world. It is a very bad virus, yes. But it is now exposing corruption that otherwise people won't be aware of. Let me explain this to you. This is according to Nigeria's budget. So it is not made up figures. Nobody is lying against anybody. 2015, when the late Buhari was alive, in his first budget, they appropriated 3.94 billion naira for Asorok Clinic. Listen carefully, please. 3.94 billion. 2015. 2016, 3.87 billion. 2017, 3.20 billion. 2018, 1.03 billion, making it a total of 12.04 billion. But Abba Kyari, the real president of the zoo called Nigeria, fell ill. Let me go by what they're saying officially. They said they're taking him to Gwagwalada Hospital. Gwagwalada Hospital have not received from the government up to 100 million naira. But these same people that jailed Ojo Okalo, that put Olisametu in jail, claiming that they are fighting corruption, claiming that they are the ones to sanitize society. These same people stole 12.04 billion. The late Buhari and his family, Aisha and the son, who is the 4th richest man in Africa, Yusuf or whatever his name is. Abba Kyari, Issa Funtua, Mama Ndaura, Buratai, they have stolen money. Very clear and very neat. Very clear and very neat. Are they going to defend this? The answer is no. Not even the most ardent Janjaweed can defend this. It is very clear. You appropriated money in a budget to equip Asarok, to make it viable for your sickly whoever is there, because Buhari is no longer there. Where is the money? Let us forget about the money they appropriated for themselves in 2020. I am asking them about the money they claim they spent on Asarok. These are the people of integrity. APC. 3.94 billion. 3.87 billion. Yoruba media will not hear this. Tinubu's paper, The Nation, will not write this. But it is here in black and white. Appropriated. Stolen from the central bank. Where is the money? What did you buy with this in Asarok? Now they are moving them all over the place. Saying we are going to Baghdad. We are flying him to Lagos. These are the people that stole money. And I ask you this evening, why is Ojo Zokalo in Kuje prison serving, is it 12 years? Why is Olisa Metu in prison for 400 million naira only, serving 7 years? Why? Because they failed to realize that in Nigeria, every politics is local. You take care of your people. That is why my concern is Biafrans first. Now, do you see it? I am not saying that MF and the central bank gave somebody money. This was contained in their budget. They budgeted for this money. You will see them. Recently, of course, it's Jubril. He will stand there and trying to form late Buhari's accent. He will try. He will say, my clinic at Asarok, we are budgeting 3.87 billion. Where is it now? What did you buy with 3.87 billion? If you go to Asarok clinic, it's empty. Now tell me who is corrupt in Nigeria. Tell me those that needs to go to jail in Nigeria. These very figures, I will give it to the British, not minding what they're going through. I want to prove to the world that nobody, no group of people is more corrupt than Fulani. They are the most corrupt, useless and primitive and backwards. That's why you're all suffering. That is why everybody is suffering. Their primitivity and backwardness, that is what we are suffering. That is why there are no good hospitals. That is why I pray to Chukwukika in heaven to give us the common sense to follow these very simple guidelines, that we must survive this as a race. Who is going to airlift aid to us now? USA is on lockdown. All the airlines are on lockdown. They said they brought masks for you from China. Good luck to you if you want to wear their mask from China. I say good luck to you. It was China that gave the world this very virus. You don't wear anything from them. If you do, you will die. Try it and see. I will come back and I will say, I warned you not to. People have been planning to depopulate. They don't want to colonize Africa. They want to kill us off and take over Africa completely and totally. This could be one of the ways they intend to do it. This virus is very, very different. It's not like the Spanish flu that came in 1918. Nothing you have ever seen before. This guy is deadly. People are afraid of HIV/AIDS. This is the big daddy. Some people may have built up sufficient immunity to fight it. But those who have very weak immunity, you stand no chance. You stand no chance. For civilized, advanced economies to roll back freedoms that they have cherished for thousands of years is not something they will do lightly. Not something. They don't have the herd mentality as you have in the zoo. They don't have it. That is why we must be very, very careful. And I will continue to say that initially tonight I am announcing that a contingency fund
of 50 million from IPOB that will go into making sure we have some hospitals ready. As soon as people respond to our appeal, back home especially, then we will be able, of course, see these very funds rise significantly. But IPOB, as a family worldwide, we never knew this was coming. Nobody knew it was coming. Nobody knew. So, as you well know, we have commitments all over the place. We have international lawyers in 4 continents. We are fighting very hard, as some of you may have known. You saw the statement that I issued yesterday. It was carried by every major news outlet all over the world. And the projection is that that very piece of damning human rights violations by Nigeria will be read by 85 million people. We have the proof and I'll show it to you on Sunday. So we are making serious headway. It's costing us a fortune, but we are making serious headway. IPOB this evening I'm announcing, towards this very pandemic, we are committing 50 million naira initially to make sure we educate and prepare ourselves for what is to come. 50 million will be made available for us to tackle coronavirus in Biafra land. For now, that is. We hope our budget initially is 300 million to be able to cater for it, because most of the nurses and the doctors that will work, we know that the zoo will not pay them because there is normally they've all run away. Abakari is not there, and as he was running away, he took Jubril with him. Jubril ran with him, so there is nobody. And even sure, those that you're seeing claiming presidency, they all have corona, all of them. So there is nobody. Senate have disappeared. House of Reps disappeared. And I'm also asking the governors, please, as I said, no hostilities. I have, for the period of this very epidemic, not should I say pandemic, the period of this very scourge, we are sheathing our swords, all of us. I appeal to the governors to please, now that the banks are still working to pay workers their salaries, please, whatever you're owing them, if you do not have money to pay workers, please try and pay them from your security vote. Very, very important that you pay them from your security vote. Very, very important, please. Very, very critical that you do so. From your security vote, you can pay them. We are asking, pleading, and I can say I want, in the spirit of this newfound together or something, we'll get through this virus. I'm appealing to the governors to please pay salaries. I'm also appealing to private companies to try and pay workers their salaries so that people can have something to feed the family with at this very period. People are saying stock up. Anyway, but I grew up at a time when fridge was nothing anyway. If you have anything, you put it or you hang it over the fireplace. So in this era of Indomie and the refrigerator, those who are in charge of NEPA, still call it NEPA, should at least ensure that there is a semblance of constants in terms of power supply, that people can have their fridge at least up and running and be able to stock food there as well, and other perishable items that they may have. As I said, we will equip some hospitals. The difficulties we are having now is with this whole coronavirus problem. How are we going to fly these equipment? USA is placing on order, I think, about 10,000 ventilators rather. And also UK is placing on order, I think, about 15,000 ventilators. So if the UK has no ventilator and US has no ventilator, Spain has none, where are we going to get them from? This is the reason why we ask people, we want a country that is viable. We want a civilized country that is viable. You won't understand it. Now it has come. I think they said that Innocent Motors said he can build ventilators. So we'll speak to Innocent about it, about building ventilators, and see how much he's going to charge for that. We must make sure that we have our hospitals ready. In Benin, we have a hospital in Asaba. Delta is very big, so we'll have to find a hospital also in Warri to accommodate people. We need a hospital. Most places it's going to be two actually. We need a hospital in Oka,
and we also need a hospital in Onitsha. I don't know how we're going to do this. This 50 million is not going to be enough, but we're going to do the best we can. We are IPOB. Once we have a project, we always fund it. That's the good thing about us. We always do. So that's exactly what we're going to do. This 50 million naira is an initial pledge from IPOB coffers, not gotten from anybody, from IPOB purse itself. That is where these funds are coming from. I expect the DOS to be able to make preparations for food distribution to the poorest families in Biafra land. Food distribution will be done to the poorest families, and we also need to make sure that the source of food supply is secured. That is the problem. Nobody knows how long this whole thing is going to last. We pray it goes over next week, in which case then everything is fine. We go back to normal. But how about if it continues? Then what happens? We don't want to be like the zoo that never plans ahead. We want to be able to plan ahead, please. As I said earlier, we are going to suspend all manner of hostilities and then to work with those who are willing to make sure that our people are fed and that they stay safe during this very period. We must take every advice very, very seriously, please. I beg of you. Every shred, every piece of advice we get, we must take very, very seriously, because things are happening. Things are happening. Let me warn you as to why our hospitals will need to be open, because most of the doctors will need to pay, not to pay them full salary, but to give them something to keep them going, and also the nurses as well. As I said, 50 million is not enough, but that is just a beginning. That is what IPOB is pledging in order to be able to tackle this very menace. The hospitals in the zoo, they are closing down. I don't know if some of you are aware of this. I don't know if you are aware of this. Because let me also warn you. Let me also warn very critically about what is being said. I must warn people very, very clearly. The world, in fact, no, it's not what the Ethiopian, highly regarded Ethiopian Prime Minister have said that he is worried for Africa. He is worried for Africa. This may take time. Remember, we are now saying it was not going to come to Africa. It was in China since November of last year, in China. But the Western world, Europe and America, is now feeling the heat in March of 2020. How many months? November, December, January, February, March. 4 months. They now got it. Because people traveled to China, they came back, there was no flight ban, there was no restriction, you did as you liked, and now look at where we are. We don't want to go through this same mess again. We don't want to go through it in Africa, because we are poor in Africa. Because in Africa, in all honesty, the hygiene is not that great. Because also in Africa, it is overcrowded. You have slums, you have people that do menial jobs that have to survive on a day-to-day basis. That is why such people, in fact, indeed all of our people, need protection, and we must do everything we can to protect them. We must do everything we can to protect them, please, because this is the news coming from the zoo. They are shutting down their hospitals. Their hospitals are closing down because the doctors themselves are going on self-isolation because they don't have the gear, they don't have the kit to cover themselves to do the work. 2 doctors died in New York looking after sick coronavirus patients. We don't want anything to happen to our doctors in Biafra land either, but we need to make sure that we get them the right protective gear to enable them to at least keep the hospitals open. It is very, very important they do that, please. Very, very critical. They have, what I'm telling you is actually a fact. Let me read the news for you, please. Hospital shuts down major operations due to coronavirus as doctors embark on self-isolation. I'll read it for you. The University Hospital in Ibadan, Oyo State, has suspended key services due to the ongoing coronavirus outbreak. The suspension of consultation services to regular outpatients was announced by the Chief Medical Director of the hospital, Jesse Otegbayo, on Wednesday. Mr. Otegbayo said other departments in the hospital will also stop rendering services till further notice. Tell me how we're going to survive. Is it the telephone services that you have? Is there any hotline anywhere you can call if you're sick? They said it is NASD, whatever, if they have eaten all the money meant for Asoro Clinic at the seat of power itself, what makes you think that this so-called, is it NCCD or whatever rubbish is called, is going to be there to respond on time to your needs and to your concerns? That is why we need to do this. That is why IPOB needs to set up to the plate, and that is why we need to do everything we can within our power to safeguard the lives of our people. The lives of Biafrans is most paramount. And when they start to deny in Asoro, there's something wrong. They said Buhari not on ventilator. Nobody asked them. They came out and said, oh, Buhari is not on ventilator. Did anyone ask you? You know, this thing about this God we worship is that he's miraculous. And he has never failed me and can never fail. You will see what will happen to the zoo. Their real president is off the grid. Now, nobody asked Lai Mohammed saying that Buhari is not on ventilator. Did anybody ask you if Jibril is on ventilator? From their mouth, they will confess. You watch and see what is going to happen. And then you come back and say that I told you so. I don't wish anybody ill in the zoo, but you see those in Asoro that ordered the deaths of Biafrans, ordered the invasion of my house, the slaughter at Mpo, National High School, Aba, Head Bridge on Nature, in Asaba, in Enugu, in Iguacha, in Mbama, in Akwa Ibom. May coronavirus ravage all of them, in this life and in the next. All of them. You see what will happen to the zoo. There is no Asoro. There is nobody there now. All here is presidency. Oh, we congratulate one Pentecostal thief for his 50th birthday. That's all they now do. There is nobody speaking. If you turn on your generator, because I know there's no light, go and check. You will see every head of state around the world that is not ill with this very virus. You will see them standing and speaking to their people almost an hourly. Even Singapore, they call back all their MPs. They don't wear any tie to show you the urgency of it. Even Ramaphosa in South Africa, everybody speaking. The most populous country in Africa. Where is the person you claim is your president? They said he tested negative, that Jubril doesn't have it. Then where is he? In a time of national crisis and emergency, where is he to give direction and purpose? Let Jubril stand up and tell, as Trump has been, as Boris Johnson has been doing, tell the world how many ventilators you are going to purchase. Tell the world how many hospitals that are open. Tell the world the figures, the projection from the statisticians and all the experts. Come stand up and say it. He cannot. It's a COVID-19 virus. That's all. And today, even ordinary COVID-19 virus, you don't hear anymore. And people are pretending as if life is normal. Do you see why Africa is rubbish and backwards? There is nobody to speak. Because the linchpin, the man, the Onobo is down. Abakiado. He is the puppet master and he's down. Now they are so confused. They don't longer know what I said. When I said that Abba Kyari is the one running the zoo, you did not believe me. Now he's out of the way. Tell me if they're not in disarray. They are all in disarray. Now Lai Mohammed, Buhari is on ventilator. Let him come out and speak. Okay, he's Buhari, come out and speak now. Let's see. He cannot speak because his contract was $250 million. Now he has gotten what he bargained for. And as I told people a while ago, once you go into Asoro, you will either die in Asoro or you lose somebody very close to you. Go and check them from Babangida to present regime. And I warned Jubril, if you don't take time, you will die there. Abakiari, if you don't take time, you will die there. Anybody who goes into Asoro, either you die, your wife, or your close relative. Go and check from Babangida that moved into Asoro till this very day. It's a fact. Our priority is to defend Biafrans. Anything the zoo likes, it can do, but the zoo cannot defend you. In a time of crisis, in America, they're sending checks to people, sending out, they agreed a stimulus package of $2 trillion. Japan, $500 billion. Everybody doing something. You can, I'm a proud Nigerian. What has Nigeria done for you now that you're in a big, ugly mess? Nothing. It's to tell you, oh, don't go out, don't do anything, don't travel, but they cannot take care of you. But IPOB will do our best. We are not saying we can provide all the solutions to the problem, but we are going to do the best we can. That is why we are here. That is why we are here. To be our brother's keeper, and that's exactly what we are going to do. All the way from Edo, because we have many people who are in IPOB. All the way from Edo to Cross River, we are going to do the best. This family of IPOB, now we want to prove to the world that indeed Elohim is with us. Some of you doubted before, isn't it? I'm now going to prove to you that God is with IPOB. I'm going to prove it to you in the next few weeks. You will see it. Then you will believe. Only then I'm sure that you're going to believe. Your pastors are not going to save you. I believe in the prayers that they are praying. You can pray in whatever language, in whatever tone that you like. That's entirely between you and your God. That's between you and your God. But these are the things that we need to do. We must be clean. Try to touch your face. Always wash your hands. You must go and get sanitizer. If not, I'm sure that Biafrans are developing healthy sanitizers right now using Dettol. Dettol is a very good sanitizer because you can see on Dettol, on the can itself, and on ordinary Dettol bottle or Izal, you can see it there. It kills coronavirus. It's there. It's written. Clean, wipe surfaces and keep it very, very clean, please. Please keep it very, very clean. We don't want our elderly or vulnerable citizens of Biafra to fall prey to this very virus. We do not need it. We are live and we are direct. I think I've gone over the time. I said I was going to be on air for only an hour. But it is very, very important that our food distribution system is secured. We don't need any criminality. We don't need fools running around all over the place looking to make life more difficult for people. We don't need that. We don't need it. What we need is consistency. Consistency in terms of people going out to show that they care. We need to prove to our people that we are IPOB. We have come to make their lives better. We have come to make Biafra a better place for everybody. Not just this generation, but those unborn. That is our legacy. That is why I say that before us there was none like us. Now that we're here, there can never be any. Nobody can rise up and spend their dime and say we are taking care of our people. But you said that you have billionaires, trillionaires, everything you can think of. But it has fallen to those they call miscreants to save our people. And it is a burden we must bear with pride. And this IPOB will save Biafra from this very scourge, from this very coronavirus. Please do exactly as you're told. Do exactly as you're told. No shining of shoes by Fulani Janjaweed. No shining of shoes, because they'll bring it from Fulani North and bring it down to contaminate our people. Don't cut your nails from these people. Don't let them shine your shoes. Very, very important. If you have sense, you will understand it. Don't. I repeat, don't. They will do everything they can to decimate our population. Please do not. Maintain the highest forms of hygiene, and please await further instructions from us. That brings us to the end of our program. Very brief emergency program this very day. As I told some of you, but you didn't believe me, but I think maybe let me just add this news. It's from Reuters actually. Nigerian army prepares for coronavirus lockdown and mass burials. Nigerian army. Do you trust them? They prepare for coronavirus lockdown because there is no more Abakari. In the absence of Abakari, it will be martial law. This coronavirus is a two-edged sword. It has taken out the cabal, more or less, weakened and incapacitated the cabal, but it has given Buratai power. Buratai will say, after all, in Britain, the army is there helping, and in other places around the world. This is what the Fulanis are planning for you. It's for those stupid. That's a Yoruba man who was running his mouth. We'll deal with that fool later, not now. Let me read the news for you from Reuters. The Nigerian army is preparing to, listen carefully, to forcibly transfer the sick to hospital and enforce curbs of movement to try to shield the country from crime. Forcibly, army, not police, not civil defense, not paramedics, no army. and you're telling me that you are in a country that has humans in them. I shouldn't be laughing, actually. It's a very serious business. People are dying. I shouldn't be. I do apologize. People are dying all over the world, and it's very, very painful, and we are praying for them and their families all over the world, please. A memo from Army headquarters. Listen to it very, very carefully to what they said. Following the rise and continuous spread in cases of the corona disease in Nigeria, the Chief of Army Staff has deemed it necessary for all to take protective measures to ensure the safety of the army personnel and their families. There are currently 46 confirmed cases in Nigeria because there's no testing. They don't test. Do they have a testing kit? If America is running out of testing kit and UK, where are they going to get their testing kit from? From who, I ask? Is it going to be from China? The same people that will even add, corona, this is the second variant. Maybe they'll add the third variant in it and give you. And they puncture your skin and that'll be it. No vaccine of any sort. If you take it, you're gone. No vaccine of any corona until it is developed and fully certified by the Western world. Anything coming from the East, please don't accept it. I'm warning you now. They said the army is suspending everything. They are also going to take over all the food that they can find, the Nigerian army, in order to keep the army going. They'll tell you it is the army, and who are the army? It's Boko Haram. Do you see the mess that Nigeria is in? That is why anybody who refers to him or herself as a Nigerian, I see as one compound fool, one giant fool. But not Biafrans, not this very family, not IPOB. We pray that Elohim Chukwukeka Biama will continue to guide, protect, and shield every Biafran wherever you are, especially those in China, the IPOB family in China, the IPOB family in Turkey, the IPOB family even in Iran, the IPOB family in Israel, the IPOB family in Italy, the IPOB family in France, the IPOB family in the UK, the IPOB family in the United States of America. These are monumental hotspots, and we pray for each and every one of you. And we must also remember those back home. And as I said, 50 million is just the beginning. We hope to increase that as the days go on. But as always, we must not forget what we are here to do, which is to restore Biafra. And that we will continue to do. Nothing is going to stop us. That is why we say that Biafra is our religion here on radio. Biafra is where we worship, because Elohim Chukwukeka is our God. From here, it is good evening.